MyPatriotSupply.com. You'll find out a lot of good reasons to have that food and some great prices. MyPatriotSupply.com.
One man.
This is Stephen Airy with Defenders Live.
One desire.
Is that a Pablo Francisco skit?
That reference is as old as Brad Stagg's.
All right, fine. Let's get it over with.
I thought you might see it my way. He's here to give a defense of American exceptionalism.
Arm yourselves, America. It's time for some offensive defense.
Starring B-Rate Tom Cruise.
Dude, I said that my name in the beginning. Pay attention.
In an hour-long epic for the minds of this generation. Do not miss this. Defenders Live on MoJo 50. 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Live free.
Yeah, what he said. MoJo 50, Defenders Live, 9 p.m. Monday through Friday.
While we run train on the progressive agenda, does she know she speaks street? Didn't they get mad at Brett Kavanaugh over the whole run train thing?
They got mad at him for liking beer.
Brandon Morse, today at 1. MoJo 50.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. The mighty MoJo 50.
All right, right away, we've got to get some audio. I got to get to audio right away. All right, kill the music. Here we're going to miss out on this. I mean, I don't think you guys are going to enjoy this. Do you know who that is?
Starland Vocal Band.
No. That is Bernie and Jane Sanders in 1988 on a trip they took to the Soviet Union.
Oh.
But I'm really not doing that justice. I left out one key word.
What? Which one?
Shirtless.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. His wife or him?
Him.
Oh. Ugh.
A shirtless Bernie Sanders and his wife Jane on their honeymoon in Russia in 1988, getting apparently drunk with some other Russians when they all break out into... Here we go.
What the?
They're going to sing a song. Here we go. I saw above me endless skyway. So that's not the words. Below me, the Golden Valley. See, it's above me. I saw the endless skyway because the sky's above.
Right, yes, that would be generally.
And below, the valley is down.
Right, yes,
so you see
speaking.
the Golden Valley. You don't see the endless skyway below you.
No, unless you're laying on your back.
True.
Yeah.
And then you go, I saw above the Golden Valley. I saw below the valley.
I don't know which is more disturbing, the lyrics that they chose or the fact that there's a lot of people sitting around that table without a shirt.
I'm going to go ahead and say I think there was more than vodka being served there.
There's a lot of empty bottles on that table.
There's a lot of something going on. 1988, a simpler time, folks, a simpler time when you could, as a politician, go to Russia and get drunk with communists and sing a communist anthem. You know that's a communist anthem.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah, this land is your land? Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I just thought it was something we learned in school because no, that's... the communist
anthem.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember the exact history, but it was written by a communist. This is what they love. That's Bernie's theme song, baby.
But this is your land.
Yeah,
this land is my land.
No. This land is my land.
But it's... Wait a minute. No.
No,
This land was made for you and me.
All the way to Thailand.
Yeah.
I think that's
Isn't that it?
Mm-hmm. See, this land is not everybody's land. This is our land in the U.S.
But it was
public
made
land.
for you and me.
But that little postage stamp that your house sits on, that's your land.
Well, that's not even really my land either. That's the belongs
banks.
to banks.
You're making payments. It's technically yours.
Well, somebody probably owns the rights to the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't own the land until it's paid off. So
Wow.
It's the bank's land. So you ain't got shit. You're just.
I could have told you that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
A shirtless Bernie Sanders. This video has just surfaced. No.
By the way, do not Google shirtless Bernie. do not do it.
You would be better off Googling blue waffle.
Don't do that either.
2 girls and 1 blue waffle. You'd be better off Googling that than shirtless Bernie. Oh, my. I know why the guy ran for president. He almost got the Democrat nominee, and a lot of people believe if it wasn't for some shady dealings of Hillary and company, he would have actually been the Democrat nominee in 2016. I mean, the Democrats love them some Bernie Sanders. So why did this just surface?
Oh, this is absolutely to undermine his...
No, but why didn't it surface back then?
Oh, they had to have something. They had to keep something up their sleeve.
Oh, no, what it is. The person who had this was like, I can't hit the button. I can't do this to the world. I can't bring myself to hand trying to go for the send. Can't do it, no.
After one too many vodka shots, they finally did it.
I think the Republicans were suppressing this. I think the Republicans suppressed this because had this gotten released in 2016, Bernie Sanders would be president of the United States. I mean, you see that physique, that Adonis-like body.
Right.
That manly
Adonis after he's been
leader.
Hit by a truck.
I didn't say which Adonis.
Right.
Pete Adonis.
Peter Adonis from East Texas.
The fat guy down at the VFW. That's Pete Adonis. I don't mean at the VFW like he belongs.
No.
He sleeps on the bench out front.
Yeah,
by the bench, I mean the grate. And by the grate, I mean the sidewalk. By the sidewalk, I mean he's in the gutter with the gutter water flowing over him.
I don't believe that. I don't believe. Is his wife wearing a shirt?
I don't know. And how come this cat over here is wearing a shirt?
Because if you look at that, there's a still pulled up from it, and it doesn't look to me like she's. There were some shenanigans going on.
Oh, and by shenanigans you mean group sex? Yeah. I mean there was.
Is she the only woman there?
It looks.
Woo.
Yeah, I think it may be.
Wow.
It is the Soviet Union in 1988.
That's a good point.
Keep in mind, in 1988, the Soviet Union was still the Soviet Union.
Yes, it was.
It had not broken up yet.
No.
This was still an openly communist country.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were open about being communist. It was a Soviet Union, the Union of Soviet Socialistic Republics. I mean, this is what it was. And Bernie was there in 1988 singing "This Land Is Your Land" with his Russian comrades.
The internet is forever.
It is. This wasn't even on the internet back then, but people made sure it made its way on. See, here's what's going on. This is more of an affirmation of what you likely already knew about Bernie Sanders, that he has dinner plate-sized nipples. That's not the one. That's not what I was. That was supposed to be my inside voice. That he is. And it would be areola anyway.
it just
is that he's a communist. This is what, folks, we keep saying the word socialist, social justice warrior. They're just communists. The Antifa, anti-fascists, they're just communists.
Yeah.
And the outright fascists out there are Nazis. They're fascists. This is what they believe. So when the communists like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or dinner plate nipple Bernie Sanders mention they're just social justice warriors and they stand against the fascists, they're embracing communism. They believe in their little peanut-sized brain that communism and fascism are opposite ends of the scale. They're very linear in their one direction or the other thinking. You're either the global communist or you're the nationalist fascist. And they support their argument by saying, Hitler fought the communists, as if communism is a badge of honor because Hitler was so bad.
Right.
At least we weren't Hitler. Right. If the slogan for your political ideas or party is, well, we're slightly better than Hitler, you got a problem there. But this is the choice we've been given. Do you want to follow the communists like Bernie Sanders or the Hitler white supremacist?
Quick, got to choose now.
Right, choose now. No, it's the salesman that comes to your house to sell you windows. Do you want 10 windows or only 8?
Right. How much money do you want to save?
The truth is most Americans reject both because they're from the same ideology. I mean, yes, it varies when it gets to nationalist versus globalist, but it's still big government. It's a faraway ruler or group of rulers that are going to tell you how to live your life. Communism and fascism are on the same end of the scale when you say big or little government. They're just different points on the same leftist side. The extreme right is anarchy. It's no government. It's nothing. No rules, no laws, no regulations. Our job is to start there and take one small little step to the left and say, is that enough rules? To make sure that, for the most part, I can leave my house without the marauders coming over the hill and raping my family.
Right. Usually.
Right. And to make sure that, we'll drive down the street and go and vote and whatever. See, in anarchy, you and I will all be, everyone's going to be out there. You're in anarchy. We're all out there. You can do whatever the hell you want, but you're going to have to protect your home every second via a gun turret. And anytime you get anything, everybody's going to be challenging you to steal it from you outwardly, openly. Groups of people coming to your house and shooting the bitch up anytime you get anything. That's the anarchy. That's the Mad Max and the Thunderdome.
And we're not too far from that. Think about what's just now happening in Chicago. People's coats being stolen at gunpoint. We are not all that far away from this.
Yeah, that's the big deal right now. People are stealing goose down jackets.
At gunpoint in Chicago.
Necessity, man.
So don't tell me it can't happen.
So that's the job. You start over there. But here's the Bernie Sanders hanging with comrades in communist Russia in 1988, singing the communist theme song.
Singing?
Well, attempting to perform the communist theme song.
Some say it's his honeymoon.
Does that matter to people?
No.
I mean, as far as the people on the left?
No, but the fact of the matter is they were getting freaky on their honeymoon.
I mean, will they even look at the timeline and say it's 1988? See, you could make the argument 1989 or 90. Well, he went over there to see, how things are changing. They've opened it up. I mean, the early 90s in Russia, before Putin took over, there was this surge of capitalism, and it was there was a lot of bad that came with it. They were not prepared for that radical of a transition, and there were some awful things. There was a lot of crime and stuff. But at least capitalism in there, and people could go and sell stuff and start restaurants and whatever. You could make the argument that somebody would go over because that's an interesting time. Or maybe people visited Russia during the 70s and 80s, even on vacation to see the Kremlin. Okay, I get that. But Bernie was in public office by then, I'm pretty sure, as mayor. If not, he was aspiring to be in the public office. And he certainly had these communist beliefs. So in 1988, if Bernie Sanders goes there and visits and is hanging with comrades singing the communist theme song,
right,
it's pretty obvious what's going on, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you have to go very far to connect those dots.
But it's not going to matter.
No.
I don't think it would have mattered back then.
He was the mayor of Burlington at the time.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't even think they'll get the time frame.
No.
So is it even a quote-unquote scandal?
At any other time in history, yes. Now,
probably not.
Probably not. No. The world has changed quite a bit.
I wonder if he would have admitted that before they put that out. Somebody had asked him. You know what? I'm not proud of it, but I'm going to. I'm going to have to say something. I'm going to admit something that I haven't wanted to bring up, but before it goes any further, I just want to get this out there. I had an affair with Willie Brown back in the 1990s, former mayor of San Francisco. Basically in exchange for career opportunities. I knew he'd help me out. And
you are so brave. You are so brave for stepping up, and you are a hero.
Hashtag me too. And
you are a hero.
Oh, wait a minute. That wasn't me. That was Kamala Harris. Sorry. She was banging Willie Brown for career opportunities.
She was banging the Willie.
Oh, yeah. Now, he has said, we were having sex, and I helped her career out.
Uh-huh.
Kamala says he was her mentor.
Mm-hmm. But Trump, it's always it's fine in this scenario, but why do I have to defend it?
They asked Willie Brown about, because she's running for president,
Mm-hmm.
He said, yes, we dated. Mm-hmm. It was more than 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. Yes, I may have influenced her career by appointing her to 2 state commissions when I was an assembly speaker. And I certainly helped her with her first race for district attorney in San Francisco. And I have also helped the careers of Nancy Pelosi, Governor Gavin Newsom, and Dianne Feinstein. No word if he had sex with them, though.
That was my question, is when he said that, did he mean he'd slept with all of them?
Knowing Willie Brown, I'm going to say yeah.
And was it at the same time, or were they separate incidents?
Apparently, when you sleep with Willie Brown, you also now sleep with Pelosi, Newsom, Feinstein, and Kamala Harris.
There's a little piece of them.
That's it. It's like sleeping with everybody he slept with.
Yep. Was he married at the time that he was boffing?
I don't know. I know he was married through some of the times he was likely. He had some affairs.
Right.
And I think it was while he was married.
That's okay. That's his private life. He can do whatever he wants. That's not our business. Unless his name is Donald Trump.
And then everything's different.
And then everything is different.
And watch for the hypocrisy to come out on this.
Oh,
when this has come up, Kamala, you slept your way through your career, and that's fine. Just friggin' admit it. Not only will she not admit it, she's claiming to be a victim.
Oh, good grief.
This is of people talking about it. How dare you bring this up? This is our patriarchal society. It's misogynistic for you to mention that she banged Willie Brown in order for her job, to get career opportunities.
So she's saying that he raped her, essentially, then?
No. Okay. She's saying you shouldn't mention it.
Why?
Because that's our only a man would mention that she did that for her job.
I hope these rules are written down somewhere, because they are awful hard to keep track of.
According to one article I read, it said that this is just people being misogynistic if you even bring this up. It's the same kind of misogynistic thinking that has led critics to accuse several women in Trump's orbit of having an extramarital relationship with him in exchange for more power without any evidence. But the fact is, she admits that she hooked up with him, and he did appoint her to. If she hadn't slept with him, would he have been so active in her career?
No, I'm guessing.
I think even if he still would have helped her, it wouldn't have been this much.
No, it's amazing what somebody in that position would do.
Not only did he appoint her to those commissions, he donated money to her first campaign for district attorney. He had a political consultant raise money for her.
Wow.
Even though they had agreed, they said they wouldn't, he kind of influenced them.
She must be good. She must do some freaky things.
Or be willing to keep it going.
Right. Either way, I mean, you don't.
You can have one amazing pizza.
Right.
Or you can have endless pizza.
Right.
What are you going to take?
Or you can have endless amazing pizza. Because, I mean, you keep going back. I mean, if he had his choice of Pelosi and Boxer.
You saying she's not good pizza?
No. I'm just saying if she's great pizza, he could have had his choice of some other pizzas. He could have gone to Hot and Ready.
Back in the day when she was running for lesser public office, and they questioned her about this, she said, his career is over. I will be alive and kicking for the next 40 years. I don't know him a thing.
Damn. Man.
Then she said, whether you agree or disagree with the system, I did the work. I brought a level of life knowledge and common sense to these jobs. I mean, if you were asked to be on the board that regulated medical care, would you say no?
It's a trap. Trap.
Sounds like a trap.
I know. I'm not going to answer that one.
How long do I have to focus group this?
Oh, man, she is cold. Man.
So it's misogynistic if you ask about her sleeping her way to the top.
That's genius. That is a genius rule right there. I hand it to him.
No matter what you can say,
right?
You can't challenge them on it.
They are genius at doing this. I will hand that to them. They have got it going on when it comes to making the rules. And no one, you can't break. They will come down on you.
It's a shame she had to sleep her way to the top because women couldn't get career opportunities unless they did.
Right. Yeah.
That's what'll be next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had to do it.
Uh-huh.
You're saying he raped you? No. I'm saying without sleeping with Willie Brown, I would have never had the career opportunities. But I was willing to take one, and by one, I mean a whole lot over the course of many years, for the team in order to get to this position. Sorry. So I could affect change for women everywhere.
He was the wall I had to overcome.
It's genius, right?
It is. Man, that is.
There's only one way out, folks. There's only one way out. What's that way? What's the way out, Brad, of all of this? What's the way out?
I could tell you, but I'm going to.
What do you keep saying to me?
There's two, actually. It's either Yellowstone or Mars. Yellowstone erupts or Mars
That's
attacked.
not the one you keep saying to me.
Which one?
You keep saying Era Capital Management. Make a boatload of money and you're done with this
Well, that too. I mean, you have to do that before Yellowstone erupts.
I'll take being rich over Yellowstone, decimating life on the planet.
Well, as long as you do it beforehand. Because once it decimates life on the planet, it doesn't matter.
If you have enough money, you can stave off the eruption.
Right.
You don't think you can?
If you say so.
You have enough money, you can just bore down in there and get that lava to flow elsewhere.
Bore on down.
It'll be like the Keystone Pipeline.
Isn't that what Willie Brown did?
He just bored on down in there. That's what it is.
You got that lava flowing.
So you bore on down in there, and we pipe the lava to like the Arctic. Cleveland.
Or in this case, Chicago.
It's cold. It's cold to the Great Lakes region.
Yeah. Fill one of the Great Lakes.
Buffalo wouldn't like a lava pipiline this morning.
Yeah. You'd be standing around it, warming your hands up.
Yeah, I mean, you get enough, man, it'll warm the entire city.
That's a good point.
Right?
That's why you get the big bucks. That's why.
And if you have enough money, you can do any of that. It just takes a lot of money. How do you get a lot of money? Solid financial planning. Now, in fact, you should put this in the disclaimer. I'm not saying Era Capital Management will make you enough money where you can start a lava pipeline.
But
but you never know.
I'm not saying it's not.
Who's to say?
Right.
Right?
You can't make those kind of claims.
I'm not saying they will, but I'm also not saying they won't.
That is, again, that's genius. That is genius. Right there.
How come I'm not rich?
Well, have a seat. Let's talk.
Let's talk. Wow. I can be just shady enough. I come up with some clever ideas. I just don't know what it is.
Having a conscience sucks.
It does.
It really does because...
Fire Festival documentary. How have we not talked about this yesterday?
Oh, I don't know.
Folks.
If you... You're not going to cram this into a minute.
If you've not watched the Fire documentary, Fire Festival from a couple years ago, there's one on Netflix and one on Hulu.
It was a blazing dumpster fire.
It was an amazing spectacle. And if you've not watched it, you've got to see this. It's fat. Halfway through, I had to stop and go, wait a minute, let me think about everything I've just heard. And then I turned it back on and went, are you kidding me? They did what? All right, we'll get back to that in a minute. Just remember, EraCapitalManagement.com. These are the folks that are going to help you with solid financial planning. EraCapitalManagement.com.
Eric Capital Management, LLC is a registered investment advisor. Eric Capital Management, LLC provides fee-only portfolio management. The advisor may not transact business in states where it's not appropriately registered, excluded, or exempted from registration. Keep in mind that investing involves risk. The value of your investment will fluctuate over time. You may gain or lose money. No strategy can assure success and is not guaranteed.
And they cannot promise that you will be able to build a lava pipeline. Forgot to put that in there. Write that in for next time.
Sorry.
EraCapitalManagement.com. Let them help you help your financial future. How about that one? Is that good?
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of mojo. MoJo 50.
I'm Mike Opelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill. I think I'm changing my mind on certain things and certain people, especially Tom Brady. The uber-successful quarterback for the Patriots has been a guy I have loved to hate. He's successful, he's got the beautiful wife, he's got the super life, all those Super Bowl rings, all that stuff. But how he behaved over a week ago when they beat the Kansas City Chiefs really impressed me. Tom Brady quietly went to the Chiefs locker room and asked to speak to rookie quarterback Patrick Mahomes to tell him what an incredible job he did in the game. Very impressive. But yesterday, at the first media day at the Super Bowl, Tom Brady impressed me even more when he talked to an 8-year-old reporter who wanted to know how Mr. Brady dealt with the haters, all the negative people around him.
I don't know. What do we do about the haters? We love them. We love them. We love them back because we don't hate back. We appreciate it and we love them and we wish them the best in their life.
Great advice. And you know what, NFL? Take a page out of what happened yesterday and maybe make a whole day of kid reporters. All those high-paid media reporters don't need this attention, but maybe, just maybe, you'll let your stars shine even brighter, like Tom Brady did, if you let kids ask the questions. Testudo, my friends. Testudo.
Mike Opelka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com.
The Daily Mojo.
Okay, just a moment on the Fire Festival. Yesterday we were talking about other shows. I can't believe we didn't mention this.
Well, we had a lot to get to yesterday.
Holy moly. So a couple of years ago, what was it
2017?
Early 2017, though.
Yeah.
So about 2 years ago. Yeah, because it would have been in the summertime. So they started the planning. Yeah. So about a year and a half ago, I'm on the air, and we start getting word that I hadn't even heard about the festival.
Neither had I.
That there is a disaster in the Bahamas where people are stranded on the island. They can't get food. They've locked down the airport, all kinds of craziness. And I got a guy on the show that morning from the airport who's like, you don't understand what's going on.
Right.
And I think he was featured in the documentary. Is that the one that got the award?
I think so.
The settlement?
I think that was him. I think he had the fake account set up too. William Finley.
Yeah, I think that's him. Yeah. So he's on there. Again, I hadn't even heard about the festival. But the bottom line is this guy in partner with Ja Rule. You know Ja Rule.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't know Ja Rule?
You like his music, right?
I've got all of his albums.
Like, what's your favorite song? What do you...
Crawl on the Walls with a Rubber Band. Have you ever...
I don't know that one. Is that a deep cut?
That is Skid Marks on the Freeway is really amazing. Yeah. Yard Cats in the Back.
Is that your...
It didn't... You know what? That one actually didn't live up to expectations.
Anyway, so they plan this crazy luxury upscale music festival.
Right.
And I mean, it was thousands and thousands of dollars to get tickets, and they planned it, said that there would be bungalows on the beach and all kinds. It was going to be luxury music festival. And they got all these supermodels they paid them to post tweets about it, and they even post all across social media. And then who was the Kardashian?
Kendall Jenner.
Was it Jenner?
Yep.
Okay.
She
tweeted about it, and they paid her $250,000 for one tweet, I think. And in the end, they didn't have any experience doing this. No. They didn't have enough time or nearly enough money for what they were putting together.
No.
And when you see it's fraud from start to finish. Incompetence followed quickly by fraud over and over. Am I right?
The fraud to cover up the incompetence.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it started out with obvious incompetence.
Yeah.
Fraud to cover that up, and fraud to cover up that, and more fraud to cover up the other fraud.
Right.
And it ended up being a disaster. I'm watching this documentary. I haven't seen the Hulu one. Brad has.
It's good, too.
I had to stop. Honestly, I had to stop and pause and think for a couple of minutes about what I just watched and start thinking how that could apply to other people.
Yep.
Other scenarios in life.
Yes.
Bernie Madoff. Because ultimately, in the end, the Fire Festival was a Ponzi scheme. It was a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
They had to keep, because Fire was based on an app. The name Fire Festival, it was like saying the iHeart Music Festival.
Yeah.
iHeart has used this music festival to help promote itself.
Right. And that's what the Fire app was designed to be, to eliminate the middleman when you're trying to book a big name talent for your party.
And that actually has some value to it.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know if it would be $1 billion, but maybe down the road it could be worth a lot.
Dr. Ja Rule, because I think he's kept it going.
I mean, like I said, it's a moneymaker as long as you get enough even low and middle level talent.
Sure.
You can really support that. So, not a bad idea. But I couldn't help but think how much it was the pyramid scheme, like a Bernie Madoff. As long as you have new people funneling money in the bottom of the pyramid, it'll keep growing and pushing it up and everything's fine. The dominoes begin to fall when you have one breakdown at the bottom where you stop bringing that money in.
Yeah.
When anything is exposed, and that's what happened. I had to keep stopping and going, oh, my golly, I can't believe this. And then I'd rewind it. Okay. Yes, that's what they did. And what was the kid's name? McFarland?
Billy McFarland. Smart kid.
Good old Billy McFarland. Sounds like the neighbor boy.
It does.
He has an advisor that he's known for years, the gray-haired gentleman.
Yeah, I think his name was Mike.
And he was interviewed as part of this documentary, and he said, Billy, is really smart and a great entrepreneur, and I agreed to help him out. And he watched this thing unravel. And he makes an admission in the middle of this documentary, admit something about himself and his involvement that I have never seen anywhere.
Stunning.
Anything like it.
Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Andy King is the guy's name.
And then I felt so bad for him at the end of this thing. So do yourself a favor. You want an amazing spectacle. Watch this. And maybe you've known people like this. Maybe you've worked for people like this. Billy McFarland, I believe, and they say this in the documentary, is a sociopath.
Yeah. I don't believe he does have a conscience. And the people that worked for him all believed that they were for the most part, and up until the end, believed they were doing the right thing, and felt that they were helping to build something that had never been built before, and it was special, and it was going to be amazing, and it was going to be remembered for, still remembered, but remembered for a different reason for generations to come.
Yeah, I mean, we look at it and you go, you're working on a music festival. So maybe it doesn't have the same value as you if you work on a charity or for an organization that really puts people, or say they put people first, or a cause or something like this.
Right.
But they still thought they were doing something brand new, that it may be Woodstock down the road, that it would be legendary, and they'd be able to look back and say, I built Fox News, I helped create Elvis, whatever it was that becomes iconic. And McFarlane and Ja Rule spun this thing, and people were like, we were there. So they weren't just working for the money. In fact, quite often they didn't get paid.
Right.
They ignored all of the bad, all of the lies, all of the obvious things that normally in life they wouldn't have overlooked, because they believed in Billy McFarlane because he was so amazing at telling stories.
Yeah. And strangely, in the end, the people who cared the most, they wouldn't fire them, because if they fired them, then they would get unemployment. So they said, you can keep working,
but we're not
going to pay you. So
you're firing us? No.
Yeah. And so the people that cared the most ended up getting screwed. The people doing the work, doing all the hard work.
The people that put most of the hard work in, that spent the most time, that were the most dedicated, got screwed the most. And it was all because, and this is there's a life lesson in here. You've got amazing people that are really talented. You saw the work that a lot of these people did. They were web developers and artists that were working on this, and planners. An amazing team of people.
Right.
That would never have allowed any of this nonsense, the lies, the fraud, the corruption, the way they treated people, would never, ever have treated anybody that way. But they went along with it.
Yeah.
Because they believed in the mission as told by Billy McFarlane, and they got sucked into it. And cognitive dissonance, which we read a book about once, said, there's no way Billy McFarlane could be that bad. Therefore, there must be some other explanation.
Right.
There must be some other reason. It can't be Billy. Billy told me an amazing story. He told me a story about how big this is going to be, and we laughed together, and we cried together, and he told me about his family, and he told me about all the dreams and hopes, and we're going to be part of something special, and he's told us this over and over again. We partied with him. We did all this stuff. It can't be Billy. No. Billy wouldn't lie.
No.
They all said the same thing over and over until the very end, when there was no other explanation, and they had to point the finger at Billy, and they realized it was a world he created that wasn't real.
Right. Billy was a scumbag.
That's it.
That's the bottom line. A scumbag.
And he's serving 6 years in jail.
Yeah.
So, this is people who follow Maduro in Venezuela.
Right. Yeah.
Not
blindly.
Right. It's people who blindly follow. Guy's a dictator. He's killing people. Look at the country. It's in shambles.
People who followed Hitler.
People followed Hitler. Not just the people for career opportunities. There were people in the middle that.
Right.
Adolf wouldn't lie to us.
No.
Look, he's in it for Germany. Look, he's just tired of Germany being kicked around.
Right.
And you make all of these excuses because you want to believe in this cause.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. It is, for a lot of people, they're going to watch it and go, wow, just kind of a screwed up thing. Kind of wild what happened. No. There is a life lesson in this for all of us, and you can apply this to people and things and businesses throughout history.
It's pretty amazing. And if you have the opportunity to watch both, watch the Netflix version first. And then do a little research on who produced what, because it's fascinating who's behind each one. It's It's a hell of a story.
I've known Billy McFarland's in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Honestly, I really have.
I've
known people, maybe not to that level, but I've absolutely seen and witnessed people do things that are exactly like that. The scam, the lies, screwing people over just because they're focused on bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people like this.
Yeah, I have too. I have too, and it's stunning because when you're in the middle of it, you don't see it.
You know, this is Jim Baker.
Yeah, it is.
This is the televangelist.
Mm-hmm.
Not all televangelists were bad, but many were absolutely doing this.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason they always come up with all this other crap. So you're a televangelist. That's right. I also am starting a line of trinkets.
Right.
I sell Hummels.
Uh-huh.
I call them Bummels. Jim Baker Hummels. Whatever, that's what it is. And then, then I'm going to start a college. Start a college.
It's a good idea.
Jim Baker U, or whatever. How many of them have done that?
Oh yeah, it happens more than you know. And again, it's hard to see it when you're in the middle of it.
And the reason they do it is to keep energy and money flowing into their original projects, which are not doing well, because they need that constant influx. In other words, it's another layer, bottom layer of the pyramid.
Yeah.
I remember reading a book that was recommended to me one time about Walt Disney. Okay. And since watching the Fire Festival thing a couple nights ago, I started thinking about all these other things that I believed and knew, like Walt Disney. Guy's an amazing success story.
Absolutely. Creative, seemed like a great businessman.
He was not.
It was his brother, wasn't it?
His brother
Roy
was a pretty good businessman. Walt just kept with the dreams. And I'm wondering, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Except when you realize it worked out for him in the long run, but that's what he kept doing. He built the first amusement park in California, in Anaheim, right?
Yep.
With money that he got from the Wonderful World of Disney on ABC.
Okay.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
He wanted to build the amusement park. Again, how come you're not making cartoons? It's not just about diversifying or having a broad business.
Right.
It's in order to push and promote. So on one hand, that's good. On the other is it a pyramid scheme? Is the other thing sustainable by itself? Okay, that wasn't a failure.
No.
But it's interesting to see how he did this. ABC had been asking him to do something, and finally he relented and said yes, because he used the Wonderful World of Disney on what, Sunday nights?
Yeah. Was the ABC's Wonderful World of Disney?
Right.
Yeah.
To promote the amusement parks. They gave him a bag of money in order for him to build, to promote. In other words, we're going to pay you to promote your amusement parks. Now, he did other stuff. There were actually shows on there, cartoons, and Swiss Family Robinson, I think, played and all kinds of stuff. But that's what he was doing with it. And when I went to Epcot as a first time as a young adult, I didn't go when I was a kid. We were too poor to go to a place like that. But I had heard in the 80s, saw all the pictures of Epcot and that big ball and all this stuff. And I got there and I was like, what is it?
I never really figured out what it was.
You've got the countries of the world, which I like now because it's all about the food for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, and it's got some science and tech. What is it? Animal Kingdom, what is Epcot? It never made sense to me till I read that book that was recommended. Epcot, that wasn't what Epcot was supposed to be.
What was it? And what it stood for something.
I can't remember what it stood for, but Walt wanted that to be the perfect planned city.
Yeah, that's right.
It was going to be his perfect city. Automated garbage pickup and everything was strictly controlled, right? It was his idea of the perfect city.
Experimental prototype community of tomorrow. That was it.
Right. And not just as an amusement park for display, people would actually live there. I mean, what's the other city that they Centennial? Starts
was it there?
They actually have a city you can live in nearby. I think it's called I think it's Centennial, something like that.
I'll take a look.
That is a little bit of what Epcot was supposed to be. Well, when Walt died and Roy had to, finish up this amusement park in Florida and put everything together, Walt had in his head most of the plans for Epcot.
Right.
And Roy took over and was like, this isn't going to work the way I need him to do this, so we have to change it to something.
Celebration.
That's it. So when I realize that books recommended to me, and although Walt's successful, I'm not saying they screwed anybody, but there are some of those principles that if one of those things had broken down, would he get to that level?
On the flip side of that coin, I will say that can't you say that about any series of businesses?
That is true.
You build on your success. You build on each block. But if
those things are legit to begin with.
If they're legit to begin with, when they start to crumble, and then you have to, like Billy McFarland was doing, he was scrambling at the last minute and having to rob Peter to pay Paul. And that's when you start getting into trouble. When you start taking the money you earn from certain events and then not using it for what that event was intended for, and then taking that money you earned to pay payroll, for instance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's when you start getting into trouble, and that's when you start rolling downhill fast.
Yeah, maybe we went a little long with this, but I cannot stress enough
fascinating
how fascinating this is.
Yeah. It really is.
Especially, can you imagine the people that were slickered by Bernie Madoff or maybe worked in his office?
I know one.
Do you?
Yes, I have a friend of mine, my old boss.
Imagine if you worked in Bernie's office and didn't know this was going on, and you believed in him. You said, look at the return he's getting. It's not just about the money. He's helping people. Brad, Bernie's helping people. They get this amazing return on their investment. Imagine you were in it not just for the job, because the investors are different. You're just trying to make money and whatever.
Right.
And that's fine. But the people that stood with Bernie, maybe his wife, his kids, the people in his office that said, we're in this because Dad's doing good. Or, Bernie, I work for him and he's doing amazing things.
Changing the world.
And he's a good person. And then you find this out. Can you imagine if they watched the Fire Festival documentary?
Yeah. There are, parallels run right through the middle of it. It's scary.
Let's get some communiques. By the way, I want to remind you about Charity Magnets as well. CharityMagnets.com. CharityMagnets.com is where you can get magnets for charity.com.
Which is really amazing that they had that URL when they decided to get in this business. I mean,
it's right here.
That's serendipity at its best. And they're not just magnets either. We've talked about this before. If you didn't get any for somebody for Christmas, over the holidays, maybe for Hanukkah, make a great Hanukkah gift. Maybe you buy one now and put it away for Hanukkah. Just saying. And look, it sticks on anything. That's the amazing thing about a magnet. Anything metal, it'll stick right on.
Not anything metal. There's
anything
certain
ferrous.
Ferrous.
So, for example, a Ferris wheel, it will stick anywhere on a Ferris wheel, which is amazing.
Unless there's parts of it that are plastic.
Right.
Or wood.
Right. Or aluminum.
Stone. Aluminum.
Right. Or maybe ceramic.
Felt.
Yeah. Or any kind of cloth. But other than that, it'll stick anywhere that a magnet would stick.
Did you ever get felt on a Ferris wheel?
Trying to remember. The only thing I remember about a Ferris wheel is getting thrown up on.
On?
Good times.
It's better to throw up on somebody than to get thrown up on.
I got thrown up on. It was.
Was she hot?
I don't know. I didn't want to look up. It was the one time I really didn't feel like looking up. Just felt the spray.
Did you ever be out on a date and have her get sick?
No, but it reminds me of a joke.
Don't tell it. I had a girl give me her phone number between vomits.
Oh. And did she try to kiss you goodnight?
No, I look back and she was hot. I really should have called her after like a couple days later. But it was so disturbing. And she was so much with the blah, bitty, blah, bitty, blah.
Uh-huh.
So I'm at this bar one night. I'm out back in town. And I was like, let's go out and see if any friends are out. You know, I was probably in my late 20s. You go out and find the old stomping grounds.
Yep.
So I go out to this bar. Nobody's there. And I run into a friend of a friend. I'm talking to this girl. And she's talking kind of drunkenese, you know. And so many with the blah, bitty, blah words. And I'm like, she's hot, so I'll stay in. Nope, can't take it. I'm out. So I'm like, all right, hey, you be cool. I'm taking off. And she's like, wait on.
Wait a minute. Come back
And I said, Going over to this other bar that's a couple miles away and check see if anybody's there or whatever. Can you give me a ride? Crap. All right, get in.
Can I have a ride?
Get to the other bar. We walk in and nobody there.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I'm not staying. All right, see you later. I'm taking out somebody there. Hey, can you give me a ride back to the other bar? There's nobody here. Crap.
You need to move faster.
And I'm always nice to people and that. I'm like, damn it, okay. So we get to the bar, and with the so many words, the blah the whole way, right?
Mm-hmm.
We pull in the parking lot, and she won't, what's the word I'm looking for? Get the F out of the car.
You keep trying to wrap up the conversation.
Okay, then. Well, that sounds good. Well, if you, sometime, can you?
No.
Hey, call me. Okay, sounds good. And
I love you.
she's making with the phone, where you're like,
I love you.
385, got it. Sure, I don't know what you just said. 384-271, got it.
Call me.
She does this. She goes, she opens the car door. She's in the passenger seat, and I'm just, jeez, get out of the car. And she goes like this. So the number is 428 7561. It was like that. I was like, God, it's 7561. Okay, you better get in there and get yourself cleaned up there, sweetie.
Don't slip on it on the way out.
And the funny thing is, she was hot.
Yeah, well, it's sad
Should
when
have
that
gone
happens,
back
isn't it?
later.
Yeah? See? Hashtag me too.
Is it too late to call her? Hey, remember 25 years ago?
Things might be a little different now.
Might be a little different.
Just a smidge. Just a smidge.
Anyways, charitymagnets.com.
In summation, charitymagnets.com.
Do the charitable thing. Go to charitymagnets.com and help puking girls find their way back to their car. They're branching out in what their charitable services are. No, that's not what they do.
No.
What do they do, Brad Stagg?
They sell magnets and things, and it benefits a great cause. It is cops for kids with cancer, as opposed to cops for cancer with kids.
That's much better.
No, it's cops for kids with cancer, not cops for cancer with kids.
That's right.
Yes. CharityMagnets.com. Do some good in the world and dress up the fridge or just check out the thing that goes on your license plate. Not saying it could help you get out of a ticket,
CharityMagnets.com.
but it might.
Do you think she's saying, I remember this time, this guy who was really nice taking me to the bar or whatever, and then I was vomiting between phone numbers.
No, what it was, she's remembering how sick you got her, and she was trying to be nice. And
she's filing a police report right now. I think he slipped me something. Hashtag me too.
You were being a dick, and she was just trying to. I just wanted him to take me home because I was in danger, and he was just trying to push me out of the car. And
she's probably telling people, yeah, exactly. Then he grabbed me.
Yeah. Yep. Whatchamacallit, by the way.
When the story came out a couple months ago around Christmas about the baby, it's cold outside, that's how she's remembering it.
Yes.
What's in this drink?
Yeah, it wasn't her fault. You know that. Whatchamacallit says, so Kamala was on top. She did all the work, she says.
Yeah, likely.
I think that's a fair assessment. Got her wonder sleeve of yours. She gets to the White House. Kamala Harris should kiss the mattress Willie Brown banged her on. He got her where she is today.
You know what? Listen, I applaud you, Kamala. Kamala? K-Dog? Listen, K-Dog.
K-Babe.
K-Babe, I'm fine with that. It's your choice.
I don't care.
You want to use what the Lord gave you to further your career? I don't care. Sleep your way to the top. I don't care.
Not the first.
No, and she won't be the last.
Nope.
I don't care.
And men do it too.
I'm even fine with you keeping that a secret. I prefer transparency. I think that's important. I want that. But I'm okay with you bedding down with Willie Brown over and over again in order to further your career. Good. But what I will not tolerate is you playing the victim on any level. The fact that somebody would mention it, the fact that you would say, he did this to me, or your hashtag Me Too moments of other women. Because she's one of the ones that have carried that banner.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hashtag me too. You slept with a politician to further your political career. And while you may think that's fine, and I may think it's not, that's okay. Stop pretending women are victims. Listen, if I had, let me say, what do I have? If I had something somebody wanted of a physical nature that would further my career, maybe I would at this point. Would you?
Possibly.
At this point.
Yes. And by yes, I mean hell yes. B from the SAV brings up a very good point. There's always a difference between psychopath and incompetence. Both can end at the same place, but intent is different. However,
sociopath is different from there.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you combine incompetence with the sociopath, that's when things really start to snowball quickly, and the sociopath tries to cover up the incompetence.
And sociopath is not about intent to screw people.
No.
There's incompetence, and then there's outright fraud where Brad, I screwed that up. I was just incompetent.
Right.
Or I'm going to screw Brad over and get some money. Sociopath is different from both of those. Sometimes it works out for them, sometimes it doesn't. Their intent isn't to hurt people. Their intent is ego. To build themselves.
It's about them.
It's about them. They just don't care when people get hurt. Or they may care some, but they just care for themselves far more. And that boundary gets broken down. So that's actually a different category. Incompetence. Then there's willing to screw people over, scam artists because you're just trying to get.
Right.
And then there's the sociopath who does it for ego, and they don't care who they leave in their wake.
No. Stephen Official, my folks got caught up in the whole Jim Baker stuff. We would go down every year for 2 weeks on vacation.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, doesn't it,
No,
though?
it does not.
Really. It is scary when you realize you've been in contact with a sociopath, and looking back on it, you're like,
fascinating.
How did I not see those signs?
Yeah. I
How
knew a
did I
guy.
not see it?
I knew a guy like that. And when you look back, you're like, I cannot believe that I was duped, and it was so obvious when I add it all up. But when you're in it because you believe in somebody, I'll bet a lot of people feel that about a spouse that's a sociopath too.
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
or not even a sociopath. When you're in it because you love them, you think they love you, and you're like, you had a whole other family across town,
and she ends up just being a.
Oh.
If we weren't so bad.
To puppy rape.
I like to cuss.
Do I want to keep my penis?
Cat wants some black titty.
We wouldn't be so good. MoJo 50. This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. It's back to court later this morning for Roger Stone, the longtime national political consultant facing 7 charges in the special counsel's Russia investigation.
Stone has been indicted not for coordinating with Russia or WikiLeaks, but he is accused of misleading lawmakers about his pursuit of stolen emails from the Democratic Party. Stone says all he did was take information that's publicly available and hype it to get as much attention as possible.
Correspondent Jackie Quinn, the Russia probe may be nearing its conclusion, according to Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker.
Right now, the investigation is, I think, close to being completed, and I hope that we can get the report from Director Mueller as soon as possible.
The Mueller investigation began back in May of 2017. 5 Houston police officers on the mend after being injured while trying to serve a search warrant at a suspected drug house.
4 officers were shot, another injured a knee when suspects inside the house opened fire after the officers forced open the front door. 2 suspects were found shot dead inside. Police Union President Joe Grimaldi says enough is enough.
We are sick and tired of having dirtbags trying to take our lives when all we're trying to do is protect this community and protect our families.
That sound from KTRK. I'm Tim McGuire.
Bitterly cold, record-breaking temperatures settling in across parts of the Midwest after a powerful snowstorm pounded the region overnight Monday. Forecasters describe the sub-zero weather on the way as potentially life-threatening. Apple disabling the group chat function in FaceTime after a privacy glitch surfaced. Users reported a bug that allowed callers to activate another user's microphone remotely even before the call recipient picked up. Apple says a fix is on the way. Wall Street, Dow futures up 57 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
There's a better way to meet people without having to suffer through all the crazies. Weed out all the nutty people with WeThePeople.dating. That's WeThePeople.dating. It's easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out WeThePeople.dating. Sign up and start dating today. WeThePeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
This is Tim Barton from Wall Builders with another moment from American history. The year after the American War for Independence ended, we began addressing the issue of Muslim terrorists in North Africa who were attacking American ships and killing and enslaving American seamen. Congress dispatched John Adams and Thomas Jefferson to negotiate peace, and when they asked the Muslim ambassador the reason for the unprovoked attacks, he told them that it was written in their Quran, that it was their right and duty to make war upon them whenever they could be found. 16 years of negotiations failed, and in 1801, America sent its military to crush the terrorists. When that war ended in 1805, the first American edition of the Quran was published, urging Americans to read the Quran to see for themselves that its teachings were incompatible with the safety and peace of non-Muslims. To see the first American Quran and to get more information about America's first war on Islamic terror, go to wallbuilders.com.
Bottom line, if you want to lose weight, go to riduzone.com. That's RIDU zone.com. RidUZone has helped countless people lose weight, and they can help you too by boosting your metabolism and making you feel a little bit fuller naturally. RidUZone.com.
But let's talk about the Golden Globes. Christian Bale said Satan inspired him playing Dick Cheney. Did Satan also inspire him to assault his wife, his sister, and his mother? Did Satan also inspire that? Just asking.
Brandon Morse, today at 1. MoJo 50. MoJo 50. Join or die.
I've taken that pretty serious now.
Wow.
The mothership has landed.
Oh my gosh, I am so tired of liberal Hollywood.
It does get exhausting.
I have started so many series on Netflix and stuff, or on any of these other platforms. That are really well done.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, 7 episodes in, here comes the liberal shit.
Yep. And it suckers you in.
Just tell me from like the first 10 minutes and I'm like, boop, I'm out.
Right.
But you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Put it all together. Here's the moral conservatives. You all suck.
What's the series you're watching?
Pine Gap.
I don't have to watch it.
Pine Gap.
It's a good series.
Was that filmed from in Australia? As an Australian?
Yeah, I think it's an Australian
production.
Show. Yeah.
Okay. I think it's an Australian. So the idea is Pine Gap is one of 3, and you find this out in the first 10 seconds. Literally, the screen comes up and tells you this. One of 3 places in the world that America has a satellite monitoring station in order to monitor satellites for intel.
Right.
One is in Colorado, one is in the UK, and one is in Pine Gap in the outback in the middle of nowhere, Australia. And they show you this base, and I don't know if this is true. It's a joint base between Australia and the U.S., and they have equal power on the base. There's a U.S. director and an Aussie director, and this is set where they're having an issue. Can they trust each other now? The president's having some trouble with the PM of Australia, and that's, you find out in the first couple seconds. But I'm watching this, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I mean, I'm 4 episodes in, and I'm like, this is
good show.
Wow, really good, compelling. And then all of a sudden, and I'm not even going to tell you how, because some people may want to watch it. I want to ruin it for you. All of a sudden, there's this speechifying from this one Australian lady, and it's just, sorry, America, progressive, blah, blah, blah. And the Americans go, you're so right.
Well, if you say it with an Australian accent, it sounds more authentic.
I did the same thing with, I had heard this was that way, but I still stumbled on it anyway. Designated Survivor.
Oh, yeah.
See, I haven't seen that yet.
Did you
Kiefer
watch
Sutherland?
that?
Yeah, I didn't watch it. My wife did. I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Kiefer's he's a little bit of a puss at the beginning of it and whatever, but because we're used to him as 24.
That's correct. Yeah.
But Jack Bauer, but it's really compelling. I mean, what would you do if, and I think everyone gets the idea, he was the...
Well, in the first episode, you see what happens, and then you go, okay.
Everything's wiped out.
Exactly.
He's the only one left in line
He's
for
the
president.
designated survivor.
And
He's
he
the one that-
survives, and all of a sudden, he's the president, whatever. Who that follows politics, civics.
Wasn't that
news.
a State of the Union that was going on at the time?
And I'm watching this going, this is because it was all chess match at the beginning.
Yep.
What does he do? What do they do? How do you rebuild the government? And sure enough, 7-8 episodes. Wait, what? Huh? And I realize in that one, this has been long enough. I'm guessing people have seen it if they want to. They can't help but talk about some political. He's trying to push his agenda. He's got to get legislation passed now, and it becomes West Wing, where gun legislation, we got to do something about guns. And I can see that they really tried, to their credit, whoever wrote it, the producers, honestly, I believe, tried to tell both sides of the story of liberals and conservatives when it comes to guns.
Well,
but because they are so far in the tank, they cannot do it from
any political show like that is going to wind up going one way or the other.
Unless they have two people, unless you have somebody that is, like me on the other side going, don't write that crap. Do you know what that means?
Have conservative and progressive writers that are
honestly,
battling it out.
I believe I could write the other side pretty well.
Right.
But ultimately, they're like, we get it. We get it, conservatives and guns. Children. But it ultimately settles with that.
There's a lot of them to do that. Travelers did it. I won't tell you how, but they did it.
The only show that I haven't seen that from was, or much, House of Cards.
That's true. And it probably just ended too soon for that to have happened.
Right. I watched through whatever, season 3 or something. It got just weird and not as good, but at least it wasn't like that.
You never finished the whole thing?
No, I bailed. I can't stand the wife.
Oh, well.
Yes, I know what happens. I can't take her. Yeah. And you want to see him win. He's a jackass. He's evil. But you want to see him win. He's the anti-hero?
Anti-hero.
Because you understand how we got there.
Right.
And if you're not seeing him kick ass, it's not worth it
It's
for
Dexter.
him. Sorry. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Dexter.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
What's up, jackholes? First part of your headlines made possible by Relief Factor. You've tried everything else, so just sit there and whine. Or go to ReliefFactor.com and see if it's the answer you have been looking for.
I think it's already helping me.
Well, with your facial abnormities?
TMJ.
That too.
But,
that's good.
But I'm give it a couple more days because this is pretty quick.
It is fast.
We'll see
but
what
it
happens.
fights inflammation, so it's entirely possible. Topping headlines, small team of Israeli scientists think they might have found the first complete cure for cancer. This is pretty wild. We believe we will offer in a year's time a complete cure for cancer, according to Dan Arador, a new treatment being developed by his company, Accelerated Evolution Biotechnologies Limited, which was founded in 2000. They say our cancer cure will be effective from day one, will last a duration of a few weeks, and will have no or minimal side effects at a much lower cost than most other treatments on the market. Our solution will be both genetic and personal.
I hope the cure is the perfect combination of pizza and hookers. We had the cure all the time.
It was right there.
More
in front of
hookers,
us.
more hookers.
It was right there in front of us the entire time.
So this is Israel. The guy's in Israel.
Yes.
Is it an Israeli company or
It's
the country?
It's an Israeli company,
Okay.
and they say in a year. So one of two things will happen in the next year. Either this guy and the entire team will turn up dead and floating in an ocean somewhere, or they will have this cure.
Brad, how is the rest of the world going to spin this if Jews create this cure? Right?
It'll be It'll be
people,
amazing.
Pointy hats marching in the woods. Jews say they can cure cancer. Don't take it. It's an elixir that's going to Jewify you.
It's going to turn you into a Jew.
That's what they'll.
Yeah.
I mean, think about these crazy or the extremist Muslims. Right. Do not take. Do not. It's a trick. Do not take the Jew juice. The Jew juice. It will turn you Jew. I would rather die of cancer than to drink the Jew juice.
Which I hope these guys have really good security, because anybody who is on the opposite side of their aisle is going to be coming after them.
This. Think about that. That's what they'll say. Or no, it'll probably be this. It'll probably be Jews doing it to control the world.
Yeah.
You have to go to them for the cure. Notice they're making money off of it. I don't know if they will. I'm just saying.
They said it's going to be cheaper. And, well, we'll just see. In a year from now, so that's January 2020. We will see.
Wait a minute. We don't have a cure for cancer yet?
We don't have a cure, no.
Joe Biden's been working on it.
Oh, well, I mean, and likely Joe Biden has been feeding his research to these guys.
Oh, that may be.
That's what it is. So they're
unless they said it'll be available next year, they'll be able to prove it within a year.
Yep.
I see. Joe already has his. They're trying to beat him.
Yes.
And Joe's just timing him being the cancer cure.
Yes.
With his announcement running for president.
Yeah.
New like, trying to beat me to the punch. I have mine, and it's already available.
Elect me, and I'll give you the cure. That's his new campaign slogan. In the meantime, pot meets kettle.
Can you imagine this is just a scam? It's Billy McFarland.
And they're going to announce it on a remote Bahamian island.
With Ja Rule.
Somewhere, yeah. Ja Rule
Hi,
is
I'm
going to
Billy
present it.
McFarland. Try the new McFarland Cancer Be Gone.
Cancer. It's a spray.
It's a spray. Plus, you can eat it as a dessert topping.
It's a floor wax.
It's also a floor wax. Your floors will shine as you are cancer-free.
In the meantime, Russia has slammed illegal U.S. sanctions on Venezuelan oil. And who better to slam the U.S. than Russia? Moscow yesterday, or I guess it was today, condemned as illegal the sanctions announced by Washington against Venezuela's state oil company and aimed at crippling embattled President Nicolas Maduro's power base. The legitimate authorities of, let's see, Russia, Putin.
Look at the bomb. Comrade.
Yeah, I can't get it.
You got to say comrade. That helps.
They say comrade. The legitimate authority.
Right.
I don't have it. I don't have it. I'm going to work
comrade.
through this. Comrade.
Welcome to the Soviet
authorities
Union.
of Venezuela.
You just have to talk slow and deep.
Boris Badenoff.
Right.
That's who it is, yeah.
It's like when you're trying to do a French accent. If you can't get in it, you start with ho 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 ho.
I get ready. The French, the legitimate authorities of Venezuela, have already labeled these sanctions illegal. We can wholly support this point of view. That's the French Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov telling journalists there.
So what's their issue with us supporting the other guy?
Well, they don't like the other guy. I mean, that's simple enough.
Well, I saw something where they're bitching about us meddling.
Oh, yeah. It's a case of illegal competition. Russia is saying that that the sanctions on our part are an overt intervention in Venezuela's domestic affairs in a case of illegal, yes, you and the...
Over here, right over
yes,
here.
Sir. Yes,
I got
sir.
a question.
Yes, sir.
Doc Thompson
yes,
from MoJo 50, the Daily MoJo. Question for you about that.
Please, yes.
Just to clarify, Russia is upset that we would meddle in somebody else's elections. Is that...
That's yes. That's about it in a nutshell. Please, no more obvious questions. Please make the.
That's a question. Follow up over here,
yes,
Doc Thompson,
yes,
MoJo 50.
Yes, Doc Thompson.
That seems hypocritical.
It's politics, Dr. Thompson. It's politics. Next question. We mentioned this last hour, but it's true and bears repeating. The end times are near. Thieves in Chicago are stealing...
No, Dad, blam it. I said that end times are nigh. Did he say the end times are near?
No, Dad, blame it. The end times are... Bong. Thieves in Chicago are stealing, at gunpoint, goose down jackets. Police there have reported a number of robberies committed at gunpoint. Thieves have been targeting one particular item, Canada Goose jackets. How do they know? Is that a brand or is that the...
They're just filled with
How do you know when you see somebody, how do you know it's filled with Canada Goose down?
You can tell.
How?
By the smell.
Uh-huh.
You know why? Because the jackets are really annoying. They won't get the F out of your way when you're cycling or running.
They keep crapping on the sidewalk.
You know who loves this story? The Canada geese. Oh, yeah? How about that now? F you, buddy. Kill Pete for his feathers is down. That's what you get. If they shoot all you SOBs, cracker.
It's really strange because last week, 6 people had their Canada Goose coats stolen. 2 more were targeted on Wednesday. 2 men jumped out of a Mercedes, showed a gun, punched a 55-year-old guy in the face, and then took his Canada Goose coat and his wallet last week. The same night, 2 men pulled a gun on a 23-year-old man walking with a friend and demanded his Canada Goose coat. I'm telling you.
I'm calling Bravo Sierra on this.
All right.
I'm not saying there's not some truth to it, but it's being spun a different way. No.
Well, I think
too much.
Temperatures are plunging in Chicago into like minus 20 degrees.
Now there's more to it.
It's crazy up there. In the meantime, if you have a cold, there's a company selling boxes of used tissues for $80. Used. Los Angeles startup company offering to let people choose their own illness schedules by buying a box of used tissues. The company claims that using a tissue that carries a human sneeze is safer than needles or pills, indicating exposure to the viruses on the tissues serve as an alternative to flu shots and similar vaccines.
Again, I ask you, why am I not rich?
They're
selling boxes of snotty tissues.
Yes.
Because they
for
say
$80 a piece.
A tissue with a sneeze in it. Nobody sneezes into a tissue. I mean, it has happened.
Right.
But it's not like the commercials. They grab the tissue and then achoo into the tissue.
No, you blow it all over everybody else. And
exactly. Then you go, when you blow your nose.
But then, the viruses would still be in there because you're getting snot all over the tissue.
It's true. But you know what I get with the virus? Snot.
Mm-hmm.
If you're sick with the virus, you likely are blowing snot into it.
Right, but the snot's going to have the virus in it. The snotty virus.
Do they refold all of them?
I was wondering about that.
They refold them and they just cram them in there.
You get a wadded up ball of tissue.
Here, take this out of my hand.
Nasty. And somebody's buying them.
Okay, there's also another failure here. Not every virus and stuff you get is going to build your immunity to it.
That's correct.
Some of it you'll just get over and over. It's not like chicken pox where you say you got it, now it's over.
Right. No, even the chicken pox, though, you have that.
It comes back years later.
In shingles. Blondes, brunettes, redheads. Which one feels the most is most sensitive to pain of those 3?
I'm going based on my wife. I would say least sensitive is brunettes.
Most sensitive.
Oh, then it's got to be the blondes.
Redheads. You're 20% more resistant to anesthesia if you're a redhead before a medical procedure. If you're given 20% more anesthesia than either a blonde or a brunette.
That means they're more resistant to pain.
No. They have to have
20%
more.
Okay.
According to a study from the University of Louisville, the link between hair color, pain, and anesthesia may be traced to a glitch hidden deep in redheads' genetic codes.
You know, that makes sense. My mom is a redhead, and she says she wakes up every procedure she's had where she's had anesthesia. She wakes up in the middle of it.
See? As a result,
because it's not enough.
Yeah.
They end up getting more sunburned more.
Although your mom, I think she's just trying to get some oxycodone to take home, but that's Can I get a doggy bag?
Sorry, Mom. That was Doc Thompson.
You have samples to go home. You know what? I think there should be a special Relief Factor promotion just for redheads. Redheads, by the way, are hot. Most of them.
No, it's flip of a coin. There's just no middle ground with them.
Oh, yeah,
the
hot or not.
The ugly redheaded stepchild or the smoking hot redhead.
Very few times in your life do you look at a redhead and you're like, well, maybe. No, you're like, no. Or, oh my gosh, she's hot.
Either way. But Relief Factor might be the answer. You know, if you're a redhead, I'm saying you just cram these in your mouth. Keep eating the Relief Factor.
I may have the greatest Relief Factor success story.
I think you do. I was thinking about that after we talked.
Tell it.
I
didn't want to mention it yet because it seems so quick. I think I started Sunday night. And I did extra dose, mind you.
Because it's non-narcotic.
Yeah, but you've been suffering with it for so long.
I've been for
working
3
with us.
months.
Exactly. For this to be the key thing, I think this is a great
maybe
story.
I can't believe it took me this long to realize. I was like, it's swollen. My jaw's swollen from TMJ.
I just said jaw.
And I've been to the doctor, and they're getting me a mouth guard for night sleeping, and I may have sleep issues and whatever. But nevertheless, I still had the pain in my jaw. I've been hoping it would go away and all this. And I've been waiting to get the mouth guard.
Right.
But I haven't gotten it yet. It'll be a couple more weeks. So I'm like, every day for the past 3 months or so, I have had jaw pain. Some days excruciating. It's on my right side. Some days just pain.
Right.
But it has not stopped every second of every day for the past 3 months. Except this morning. I woke up and this has been day and a half or whatever, and that seems light speed. I don't want to promise anything. It seems ridiculous to me. I've seen Relief Factor work before.
I know.
But if this continues, I'm going to try again. See how I feel tomorrow, the next couple days. I've done nothing else different. Right. I ran yesterday, but I ran last week too.
I'm telling you, it's pretty amazing what Relief Factor can do. Go to relieffactor.com and see if it might help you. A quick start, 3-week quick start pack is just $20. Relief Factor.
I hadn't thought about it for TMJ because and I don't know. Some people have the TMJ, their jaw alignment, and it is not painful. This has been. It finally hit me, and I'm like, well, your jaw is swollen.
It's inflammation.
Goof.
Yes.
It's inflamed.
That's what Relief Factor finds.
You don't want an inflamed jaw. I can tell you that.
No, you don't. Having an inflamed jaw is not a good thing. You know who had an inflamed jaw?
Who's that?
Ted Bundy. Netflix has issued a strange request on Twitter regarding Ted Bundy because they just released the Ted Bundy tapes.
That looks amazing.
I started watching it. It is amazing, but they are asking viewers to please stop loving up some Ted Bundy.
No.
Yes. There are people who they're claiming he's hot. They're lusting after.
He was a good-looking guy.
They're lusting after Ted Bundy. They say basically a lot to learn about him, but for those of you new to the conversation, he's an ultra short summary. He was a vicious, horrendous, brutal, disgusting mass murderer, kidnapper, rapist, and necrophile responsible for upwards of 30 deaths during the 1970s.
But did you see his blue eyes?
Right. And they're talking about how his eyes would go black when he would. They said he had blue eyes. He said when he started talking about this thing in him in third person, his eyes would just go black. But people are saying, "Hey, he's hot." Remember, people wanted to marry Charles Manson too.
Yep.
Very, very strange.
Did he finally die?
Manson, yeah.
Yeah.
He died of liver failure
a couple years ago.
Yeah. Never remember. He never killed anybody. Time for a Movie Pass update.
Wow, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has. They're going to offer their unlimited plan again.
Unlimited what?
Unlimited.
Scams?
No, unlimited. Remember last time they did this was it 2017 when they offered the unlimited plan for $9.95 a month and you could see as many movies
Are
as
they
you wanted.
rebranding it?
Nope, not
the Fire
yet.
app?
Nope. They should. Khalid Etam, the executive VP over at MoviePass, says...
Wait. Who is he?
Khalid Etam.
No, what's his title?
The executive VP.
Is he co-executive VP?
Or
just
It's
VP?
quite possible.
Okay.
He could be the co-executive VP. He says he intends to reintroduce an unlimited plan for MoviePass customers as early as next week. What he hasn't said yet is how much it'll cost and what unlimited really means. So, the pricing this year, they're expecting it to be like $50 a month instead of the $9.95 a month that it used to be. So, just saying, keep your eyes out on for that.
I am willing to launch a program where you can see unlimited movies every month at any theater you want. You can watch as many as you want. You can sit in the theater nonstop 24/7. You can live there watching the movies.
All right.
And it's only going to cost you $50 million a month. That's all it is.
You know what? That's a deal for some people. That is a deal.
$50 million.
I think, and all you really need is one good customer. You just need one good customer.
I need a tenth of a customer.
Yeah.
I need a one.
Think about it. That's a good. That right there is a brilliant business model. We just need one person out of how many billions on the planet? Just one. I would say that odds of doing that probably pretty decent.
Well, they say in business you can sell things that are really cheap and sell to, 5 million people, or something that's expensive and sell to 2.
Mm-hmm. You just need to sell it to 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of it. New study out shows that elderly people who consume coffee on a regular, moderate basis, 65% less likely to develop Alzheimer's and dementia. And Parkinson's. Regular consumption of coffee helps lower your chances of getting affected by Parkinson's disease. Research says caffeine has a protective
effect. Which is
effect
ironic.
On the... How so?
Because you can't tell if you are just drinking a lot of coffee or you have Parkinson's.
Right. See? Either way.
They both shake, Brad. That was
Yes, I get that. I was being serious newsman here.
Mm-hmm.
It's the...
that'd probably be a good time to remind people about the official coffee of MoJo 50. It's American Pride Roasters at AmericanPrideRoasters.com.
What a coincidence.
I love it.
That is
Did you
amazing.
get any today?
I do. I think I'm today, I believe.
You got, was it in the jug? It's a mix.
It is a mix.
I didn't have enough for, like,
Did you
everybody
mix
to have yeah.
Sexual chocolate and the banana?
Exactly.
Yep.
Did you hear that, Ron?
They sent 3 more packs. It's a 60%, a 70, and an 80%, I guess, raspberry. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't had that yet. Well, it's a sexual chocolate. It's chocolate raspberry. But did you hear what I did?
No. Sorry.
I made sexual chocolate banana. Because I mixed them.
Oh, yeah.
You like the sexual chocolate banana?
Yeah.
I do.
Put it in your mouth.
He likes the chocolate banana.
Put it in your mouth. Swallow that. Feel it.
Can't get enough of your love.
That's right.
Thank you, Barry.
You're very welcome.
Welcome to Pillow Talk on MoJo 50's Pillow Talk. You come on over to the radio and bring your sexual chocolate banana from American Pride Roasters.
Get you some right now.
That's right, baby.
Put it in your mouth.
Just drink that on. Shh. Just take it.
Shut your mouth.
It's AmericanPrideRoasters.com.
It's Tuesday, January 29th, 643 days until election 2020. Tom Selleck, 73 today. Oprah's 64. And our buddy Paul Ryan is 48 years old today.
I hate him.
Oh, you're not going to send him a birthday card? That's your headline.
A free exchange of ideas. MoJo 50.
New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo is on a roll, but not everyone approves. Let me explain. At the beginning of last week, Cuomo signed an extensive pro-abortion bill before a cheering crowd that allows a fetus to be aborted mere seconds before it is born. Later in the week, Cuomo indicated his support for additional legislation that this time will no doubt have illegal immigrants and their left-wing supporters cheering. The proposed law will permit undocumented immigrants to be eligible for government-funded general awards and the state's main college financial aid program that awards annual grants. The DREAM Act, as it is called, will cost taxpayers an estimated $27 million. Supporters of the measure say the DREAM Act will just be the beginning because they are emboldened to act in New York because of President Trump's immigration policies. What else are they hoping to do, which Cuomo will no doubt embrace? Legislators have indicated that they are likely to consider measures to permit illegal immigrants to obtain New York State driver's licenses and to give new wage and housing protections for those who came through the U.S. borders illegally. Republicans in the state Senate, like Senator Rob Ort, said, when we take care of every American citizen who is here legally and played by the rules, then we can talk about those who are not. Ort said further that Democrats are taking New York on immigration issues down a path that undermines federal law and the fabric of this country. Cuomo says he looks forward to finally making the DREAM Act law for all New Yorkers this year. I guess he means all New Yorkers who are illegally within the state anyway. And that's today's reality check with Susan Knowles.
Ladies, some of you sickos willingly accept that with the big doe eyes that you don't even need from a Snapchat filter and just look up at R. Kelly and say, give me your best.
Lorenzo Vizzo. Tonight at 7. MoJo 50.
If you're tired of being fat, that's the simplest way I can put it, try Riduzone. It's not magic, it's science. It's a simple way to help keep yourself from overeating. Go to Riduzone. That's Riduzone.com.
The Daily Mojo.
All right, he's running. He's running for president.
Who?
Howard Schultz is in. He's running for president.
You mean that billionaire a-hole?
That's the one you may recall him from. You may recall him from such famous success stories as Starbucks. Is he CEO again?
No, I think he resigned, didn't he?
I thought he was.
He was. Then he resigned years ago, stepped down, and then it wasn't doing so well, so they called him back in, and he did well again for it.
Yeah, but he's about to piss a whole lot of liberals off.
Yeah, at first I didn't understand why everyone was freaking out about it, and then I realized because he wants to run as an independent, not as a Democrat.
He's their executive, or he was their executive chairman until last year.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
so
he's
he
a
is
former owner of the Seattle SuperSonics.
I didn't realize he owned the basketball
And
team.
he's a member of the board of directors at Square.
Is he not the CEO, Brad, anymore?
No, he's not the CEO. He was the CEO of Starbucks from 86 to $2,000.
Supersonics?
He is a former owner of the SuperSonics.
I know, but I mean, he owned. You know what? That's not money. That's
That's
big
a lot of money.
You know the difference between rich and wealthy. LeBron James is rich.
Yeah.
The guy who pays him, he's wealthy.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's his salary.
That's a whole different level.
Is he chairman emeritus? He may be chairman emeritus
Probably.
at Starbucks. He gets his salary is pretty hefty though.
So
$1.
I have studied Howard Schultz for, I don't know, 10 years or so. I mean, not like I've taken career courses.
Does Howard Schultz know this?
No, he does not. It's not like I've spoken with him, read everything he's written. But as far as the average person goes, and his successes at Starbucks, more of the Starbucks model, because it's a fascinating concept, what he did with the third. It's called third place. Home is first, work is second. Third is where else you go. And over the years, we've all had a lot of various third places. Some people spend time at the mall. Sometimes people go to organizations. And he said, we want Starbucks years ago to be everybody's third place. You go there and work and hang out and get together. And it's fascinating.
If it gave massages, I would.
So I've studied that concept more than Howard. And I'm fascinated by what he's been able to do there. When I saw that he was running for president, I was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. Would I vote for him? Probably not. Because the guy is a Democrat, has been.
Right. That's his affiliation.
And is certainly a liberal. But I don't think he's a progressive. And there's a difference. Listen to his announcement. He was being interviewed about running for president. He hasn't officially said he's in, but trust me, he's in. He's toying with the idea. He's looking into it. He hired Obama's former aide, Bill Burton, as a communications advisor. The guy is running for president.
All right.
Why not a Democrat as a lifelong Democrat?
Because there's too many fish in the pond.
I don't think that's it.
You think he just doesn't agree with their philosophies anymore?
It's twofold. Howard Schultz is not a stupid man, and he understands, much like Trump, what makes people tick. That's one of the things that how Trump got elected. Why didn't he run 4 years earlier?
Trump or
Trump? Timing.
Yeah.
He got it. He understands what people are thinking.
Right.
Howard Schultz is going to be one of those cats as well. So why not a Democrat? Well, you're right. Got a full slot of people. This will set him aside, but he's got to know he's going to split the ticket.
Right. But he's talking about running as an independent.
That's what I mean. If he runs as an independent. So why? Does he announce as an independent, then switch to whatever? This does set him aside, and listen to why he said he doesn't align with the Democrats.
It's a variation on a question I asked earlier, but put in probably a better way than I asked it, which is, what do the Democrats have to do to change your mind and run? Is there anything they could do?
No. I think I respect the Democratic Party. I no longer feel affiliated because I don't think their views represent the majority of Americans. I don't think we want a 70% income tax in America, and I certainly don't believe we can afford the things that they are suggesting. I do believe that with imagination and innovation and getting great, smart people in a room, we can solve these problems and get America going again.
So are you suggesting he could be to the Democrats what Trump was to the Republicans?
Maybe, but again, he looks like he's going to go independent. Why? I respect the Democrat Party, he said.
Right.
But we can't afford a 70% income tax. What he's saying is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is not the party that he identifies with.
Right.
That's what he's saying.
Makes
You've
sense.
got, folks, over the years, the Democrat Party has been pretty awful most of the time. And they have gotten some not methods right. They haven't gotten the methods right, but they have been at times a little bit of a conscience for America.
Well, yeah, because they're more to the feelings.
They feel.
Right.
So when they point out, it's really cold in Chicago and Buffalo and Cleveland, all over the Midwest, freezing, below freezing temperatures, below zero in some places. And there's people out there that are homeless that don't have any place to go.
Right.
When they remind us of that, that's a good thing. Of course, their solutions, their methods are 70% income tax.
Right.
That's what ultimately ends up happening.
Knee jerk.
Right, because it's never sustainable. Their ideas don't work, so then they say, well, we just got to do it more. And it never stops. You can't fund the federal government with what has been, for a lot of people, almost 40% income tax up until recently. And that's just the federal government. That doesn't include state and local and sales and tariffs and everything else they make money.
Right.
You can't fund the federal government with that. And even when you have, you still overspent to the tune of now $22 trillion. We just needed a little bit more.
Yeah.
How much? Apparently 70 from some people. So Howard Schultz is right. Americans don't want it. He obviously doesn't think it's a good idea. What's his background? He's a businessman.
Right. Same as Trump.
He knows that's unsustainable.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, the Democrats' ideas are a Ponzi scheme. It's the fire festival.
Yeah.
Think about that. If you have not studied why these things fail, why they don't work, you should do that. The Democrat principles are plugging a light into itself. Yeah, sometimes you got a light that also has a little plug-in, so you can plug something off of it.
Right.
It's like plugging into something. It's like plugging a power strip into itself.
Yes.
It's like plugging Christmas lights into themselves. How come it doesn't light up?
Right.
You've got to have something in the cycle. And money like this is not perpetual. It doesn't go on forever because people constantly take money out of the system to save. Some people buy land and then sit on it. So while it has value, it's not in the system and cycling.
Right.
So if you look at money like energy or something like that, it does get used up. Now, if you could force money somehow to always be in the system and always give it a sustainable value, it may work that way, where you could say, all right, we put $1 billion out into the economy, right?
Right.
We gave people $1 billion and they're spending $1 billion. That means all of those car dealers got money because people bought cars and people bought cheeseburgers and everything else. Great. And then those businesses put that money into paying people, and then those people, but it gets watered down every step of the way. Number one, there's taxes taken out and the government gets them back.
Right.
Right? They go, well, see, it's back in the system. How many of those people put every penny back into the system?
Not all of them.
Not all of them. What happens is some people save, some people buy things that have intrinsic value and then sit on it.
Right.
But that person got money. What did they do with it? You see what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't work that way. So the Democrat principle is more taxes because it'll help more people. That's fine as long as you've got people on the bottom end of the pyramid scheme that are bringing in cash, new cash, new cash.
It's Social Security, essentially.
Right.
There's not enough going in that to sustain the outflow, so they're robbing from every other
right.
source.
So Social Security, there is not a pile of money in Social Security. The government pays it from taxes now.
Mm-hmm.
If there's any disruption, what happens? Okay. The whole thing comes crashing down. Howard Schultz knows that. He is so close to getting it right. He's been pretty big liberal when it comes to running his business. Some of that's been good. We say, you know what? It's not the government's job to take care of people. It's mine and yours. So do the right thing. So as a business owner, this guy has said, we're going to take care of people, pay them pretty well, make sure they have a nice little workplace. All of these very feel-good things that unfortunately have become part of the socialists or social justice warrior agenda. Look at the very progressive Starbucks company, right? Look at how they are about bathrooms, right? Do you remember all the Starbucks crap last year?
Yep.
Some of that is good for a business owner to stand up and say, I take it upon myself to make sure I'm going to treat my employees well and pay them well and whatever and create a good environment. Good for you. Where he misses it is the identity politics. If he could just shave off, he can't, of course, but if he could shave off the identity politics of, we've got to make sure that black people have a special place. A little affirmative action for women because they've been kept down. If he could get rid of all of that crap and just keep the business sense he's talking about and the feel good, even more liberal, treat people well as a business owner.
But
he'd be fine. That's the libertarian mantra. Do it yourself.
Isn't that what we had the opportunity with in Donald Trump, being a businessman, running the government like a business, and yet we're still $22 trillion in debt, and he had the golden opportunity, and I swear, and Izzo thinks he has a plan also. And
By the way,
I still want to believe there's a plan.
I have come back just a little bit of hope that Trump does have something up his sleeve.
I hope so.
I'm still very cautious, and it still seems mainly like a fail, but I did get, whereas I was completely out saying he just lost.
Right.
I do give him that there is a 2% possibility he's got something up his sleeve. We'll talk more about that later, but
all right.
Yeah, of course, that's what we thought with Trump. I'm not saying this guy would be good. It's amazing to hear him point out the failures without being obvious of what's going on with the Democrats right now.
Well, and maybe what Schultz is doing is just priming the pump for the next election for 2024.
Well, you also have to believe he can't get elected as an independent. Or can he?
I think, again, politics has changed, and you can thank Donald Trump for that, and there's a possibility he could.
Third-party candidates have not done all that well.
Trump was the closest to a third-party
because he was outside.
Right.
But he's still around.
Right.
But in today's world, everything's different.
Yes, it is.
So maybe this is the time where you're like, we should have seen it coming.
Uh-huh.
Right? He gets elected, or we should have seen it coming.
Mm-hmm. Maybe the people, Trump will likely get reelected. Likely.
Well, the peoples on the left are really upset at Howard because they say he's going to split the ticket if he runs independent, and maybe he would.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I think he would. I think he would definitely be. And if he does run as the independent, yeah, that will help Donald Trump.
They are so unhappy that he was at an appearance in New York because he's really started campaigning already.
All right.
You know, he's the CEO of this company. The guy's written books and whatever. You can go and speechify anywhere and you'll get an audience. Well, it looks like he's at a bookstore and speechifying. And the peoples were not happy. These are going to be all leftists out there, but they just kept heckling him. And if my mouse and stuff is working at all, there we go. Already, here it is.
It's the...
Go back to getting ratios on Twitter.
Did you hear the beginning of that?
What did he say?
Asshole. Listen.
Go back to getting ratios on Twitter. Go back to Davos with the other billionaire elite who think they know how to run the world. That's not what they run for TV.
They're putting him as the elite,
Yeah.
which is a whole other level. That's what's going on in the Democrat Party. Now, it's a little bit good that this guy and the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes are calling out the limousine liberals.
Right.
Because remember, it's conservative libertarian versus status on the left.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also the ruling class.
Sure.
Which separates themselves from both of those groups.
Right. And there always will be.
Yeah.
Until it's forced that there not be.
So while they're calling them out for this stuff, it's also pretty scary because what they want is outright, fully implemented socialism.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're going for.
Yeah. So he does not complete. He's more of an old school Democrat. Prior to the socialist progressive movement.
Oh yeah.
Ish.
Yep, that's right. And in fact, to show you exactly, they're running full bore on socialism. I mean, they're going for it. Kamala Harris being interviewed by Jake Tapper.
So just to follow up on that, and correct me if I'm wrong, to reiterate, you support the Medicare for All bill, I think initially co-sponsored by Senator Bernie Sanders. You're also a co-sponsor on it. I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance. So for people out there who like their insurance, they don't get to keep it?
Well, listen, the idea is that everyone gets access to medical care. And you don't have to go through the process of going through an insurance company, having them give you approval, going through the paperwork, all of the delay that may require. Who of us has not had that situation where you got to wait for approval and the doctor says, well, I don't know if your insurance company is going to cover this? Let's eliminate all of that. Let's move on.
Again, how do you pay for it?
Here's how that sells, though. She's right. It's ridiculous that we go through all of that. It's nuts.
Of course it is.
But the solution isn't more of the stuff that set that up.
No.
The reason that system exists right now is because that's what the insurance companies want. That's what the doctors in many cases want. It's the scam. We're being hoodwinked. It's unnecessary red tape and paperwork, which benefits them and hurts us. The reason they got that, or how they got that done, was by lobbying for more government rules and regulations. Throughout the Obamacare debate, when they first started discussing it, we have laid out all of the examples of how this got done. All of the rules and regulations. You can't go out and start an insurance company today.
Oh, of course not.
Do you know how difficult that would be?
Well, Bill Gates could.
Maybe. And it's as much about his celebrity status as well as his money. You're going to have both.
Right.
Look at what Obamacare's done. Look at how it got rid of those marketplaces. Right? The marketplace got rid of all those other insurance companies or plans in certain areas.
In Texas, they're down to one.
Right. It's the rules and regulations that has hurt. How come when you go to the doctor's office, it doesn't just say, set a broken leg, $300. Treat a cold, $50. Have me write a prescription, $350. MRI, $500.
They want to find out how much the insurance company is willing to cough up first.
Why is it? After you go through some sort of procedure, you get a bill in the mail that says you owe us $2,800. And then next month, the same company says when it says, oh, you only owe us $82.
It's so no one can figure it out.
Even they can't figure this stuff out.
No.
These companies set this up and use their lobbying of Congress to pass more rules and regulations, which force out any competition.
Well, and we got away from the whole reason you have insurance to begin with.
Disaster.
Yes. You lose your arm somewhere. It was never intended to cover things. You need 5 stitches. You go to the doctor and you get 5 stitches. You pay for it.
So, Kamala, what would your plan cover?
Everything.
What do you mean by that?
Everything. Anytime you walk into a doctor, and I guarantee that's what she'd say. Anytime you walk into a doctor's office, from a sniffle to a severed limb.
What about transgender surgery, reassignment? It's a medical condition. She likely would say, yeah, right? And if you believe transgenders, they have always felt, you're right, there's something out of whack. Some people may think their mind is out of whack and they should work on that. Some people think their body. But I'll give them it's out of whack. So, okay, let's say yeah.
Then
and maybe out of whack is.
Then hair transplants, too.
Boob jobs?
Yes.
What about that? Facelift. Well, you've already had 14 cosmetic procedures.
I don't feel pretty.
What was that?
I don't feel pretty.
I don't feel pretty.
Yeah. I feel inadequate.
We have to, put some sort of limit.
Right. It's the minimum wage argument. Let's just make it $200 an hour. Be done with it.
You are going to have to put some limit on it. So what is the cosmetic surgery doesn't count? Okay, is that your standard? Great. What about people who've been in a horrific accident through no fault of their own, that it jacked them up serious and they look horrible? I mean, it's not medically necessary. They're going to go and be healthy,
right?
But they're like a gargoyle now. They're like the Elephant Man. Well, I mean, there's some exceptions.
The woman who got her face ripped off by the monkey.
Face transplants. What about that?
Right.
Okay, in those scenarios, okay.
Right.
What about somebody that was in an accident and needs cosmetic surgery, but it's half as bad as the Elephant Man type person that just got half as bad?
Right.
That's still pretty bad. What about a quarter as bad? What about I got into an accident and I've got this nasty scar on the side of my neck? It's like 6 inches long, and it's obvious.
Right.
But it's like kind of on the back side of my neck. Does that count?
If it does, it does if it makes you feel bad. If it makes you feel unattractive.
And that's what it is. I've got a small nick on my knee from the accident that if I am wearing bathing suits and you get a magnifying glass, you can see it.
All right.
Body dysmorphia is a thing.
I feel bad.
So that makes me feel no one can even see. I don't care.
Doesn't
I feel
matter.
bad.
Right.
So
there's no set. Yeah.
So that line will constantly move. There'll be exceptions. Will it all be laid out? The problem is, and this is what the Democrats don't get. The big government statists don't get this. When you try to set the rules, the boundaries, there is always going to be an exception to it.
Of course.
And so then they try to set another boundary or rule on that rule. Well, in this case, because somebody challenged, they're right about that. In those, what about this one? Well, there are never ending rules and regulations in order to set the standards because there's always exceptions. And then those rules end up hurting other people. How many times have you said, because of a rule, blah, 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 where they're attempting to do something good, these other people get screwed?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
The way it's supposed to operate is very broad and loose rules that are interpreted by the judiciary. That they say, when there is a challenge to this, here's an exception to it. That they can say, in that case, because of these mitigating circumstances, here's how you must proceed. Panels. Whoever's implementing these rules, like let's say it's money for healthcare in this scenario. Right. A panel that would say, that does seem like a reasonable exception to it.
The Affordable Health Care Act, by the way, 11,000 pages. Conditions.
So,
reasons.
Who's going to pay for it? When we've talked about this, she's not talking Obamacare. She's talking single payer. Full government being the single payer of everybody's health care.
This was the next step in the plan the whole time.
Absolutely.
All she's doing is taking the torch and walking forward.
Well, we need something because Obamacare hasn't worked, and not because it was a bad idea, but because they defunded it.
Right.
So we're gonna have to do something bigger.
Coincidentally, unfortunately, the structure is still in place. All we have to do is plug it back in.
Actually, what they'll do is, because they want the bigger, they're just going to go full Medicare for everybody. That'll be the plan. And that's already in place. They just expand the crap out of it.
And eliminates the private insurance.
Absolutely.
They're out of business.
Well, if you get into this argument with people in your workplace, maybe a cousin, a relative, a friend, and you start having this discussion, ask them a couple of things. Number one, let's look at where government-run healthcare has worked, where it's been tried.
Yeah.
The United Kingdom, Canada. You'll hear wonderful stories from people there. I was on vacation. We were up near Lake Blah in Canada, and I got a cut. I just went in, and they stitched up my arm, and I went home, and it was great. There was no waiting, no bill. It was fantastic.
And I got a puppy.
Read. Simply search Canada, healthcare, and not past reports, news. Now, click on the news feature on Google or Yahoo or whatever, and do NHS from England, and click on news. And just read. It's not going to take you very far. And I guarantee you there's one right now that'll say something about, oh, there's a scam. They didn't have enough money to do this. They're shorthanded on this.
We have a mutual friend whose family member is Canadian. And it was a cancer thing, and it was a nightmare, and he's dead. And it was because of their healthcare system. Because you can't get in. it's fine maybe if you have if you need the 3 stitches, but if you have a life-threatening anything,
folks, while speaking with you, I went on to Yahoo.
Did you?
And I Googled.
Good for you.
I typed in 3 letters, NHS, and I clicked on news.
Mm-hmm.
Here are the first several stories. Number 1, pay-as-you-go DNA tests breach core NHS principles. Number 2, almost a quarter of new mothers are left alone during childbirth. The third one's kind of generic. They're just urging people to use 111.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth one, engineer pulls out own tooth with pliers waiting for NHS dentist. Number 5, hospital decision to affect thousands. NHS therapy is quick fix for the state and the poorest patients lose out. Women left alone when anxious, click down there. Anxious in labor despite pledges to tackle Britain's poor maternity record.
So
NHS bosses slam midwife for not telling doctors aborted baby was still alive.
Yeesh. Well,
there's no good one there.
No.
And you could do that any day, any time, and there will be news stories telling you it's a failure. But you don't have to look that far. You don't have to look across the pond. You can look right in America. We have government-run healthcare right here.
Oh, yes, we do.
The Veterans Administration.
Yes, we do. Yes. I have a friend they killed.
So, Kamala Harris will likely not give you any details. She will not come on any program like this where she is actually challenged on the stuff because she knows it is a failure. I can actually help you out, especially if you're trying to lose weight. I can help you out with Riduzone. Riduzone works, folks. That's the bottom line. This is actually something you can do, a capitalist system, because it's a product that was developed and put to market to help people. It's not free, not paid for by insurance. It's not medication. It's nothing like that. It's new science based on something that's already found in your body, and it works. You want to lose weight? Try Riduzone. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Riduzone. R-I-D-U zone. It helps in 2 ways. Helps you feel fuller, and helps boost your metabolism. Take it from me, Brad, others around here. Listen, you know we lead with our failures. Even if I didn't, everybody around here is a big enough a-hole. They're going to tell you about them.
We'll lead with everybody else's failures.
I told you when it came to the Relief Factor, even though I've tried it, for some reason I wasn't thinking about it for my jaw.
See?
We tell you about this stuff. It works. Riduzone. Try it today. Get your life back already. You know, we're coming into spring. You're going to want to look good this summer.
Mm-hmm.
Start now. In a few months, you'll likely be where you want to be. Riduzone.com. Try it today. RIDUzone.com.
Kinsey Richards says, I can't even afford the rule book for the Affordable Care Act. Can you imagine how much it would cost at Barnes & Noble?
Right.
Right?
Yep.
I'm telling you. Disaster.
Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. All of the police officers wounded during a shootout with drug suspects in Houston are expected to survive. Police Chief Art Acevedo says it began when the cops showed up at a house to serve a warrant. That's when shots rang out.
As a result of the exchange of gunfire between our officers and 1 or 2 suspects, we have 5 officers injured. 4 were struck by gunfire.
2 suspects were shot and killed. Acevedo tells KTRK-TV they had been selling black tar heroin out of the house in southeast Houston. 2 of the wounded officers are in critical but stable condition. Political consultant Roger Stone expected to plead not guilty when he goes to court later this morning, facing 7 charges stemming from the special counsel's Russia probe. Stone is accused of misleading Congress. The nation's largest utility, Pacific Gas and Electric, files for bankruptcy protection.
PG&E is facing billions of dollars in potential damages from the wildfires that have devastated parts of California over the last 2 years. PG&E is already facing lawsuits over the November blaze that destroyed the town of Paradise, killing at least 86 people and burning 15,000 homes. The cause of that fire is still under investigation.
Correspondent Ben Thomas. Some places may never have seen temperatures this low. Bitter cold settling in across large parts of the country.
Minnesota, the eastern part of the Dakotas, is really going to be set up the best for the coldest temperature. Out here, northern Minnesota, we're talking about low temperatures down under minus 40 degrees.
With wind chills even lower than that, according to Richard Bond at the National Weather Service's Weather Prediction Center. On Wall Street, Dow futures up 72 points. S&P futures 4 points higher. NASDAQ futures better by 17. More on these stories at townhall.com.
You know what makes you feel really good about yourself? Doing something good for somebody else. And if you'd like to do that today, go to jdrf.org. Join them in the fight against type 1 diabetes. jdrf.org. It's something good you can do for the world.
jdrf.org. Doc Thompson, MoJo 50.
Missouri cops claim that Amy Nicole Perino punched a man, then hit him with a belt when he would not orally stimulate her.
He was supposed to talk dirty
to her? No, he was supposed to perform a sexual act on her. Here's how it all went down. She got undressed and chased the man around the home before pushing him to the ground and sitting atop him.
First question, could he hear the stereo?
That's when she began to beat him up. He told the cops that when she was on top of him, he was briefly unable to breathe. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, he couldn't hear the stereo, could he?
She was charged with sexual abuse and domestic assault. I'll let you decide if she's the type you want to date.
Okay.
If she's
that's not a woman.
Brad? Are you going to take the beating?
Oh,
or
hell yes.
It's like Danny Trejo had sex with Yoda and the baby was raised by a water buffalo.
Say what you want to say about Cortez. She's not unattractive. Whoopi Goldberg, ugly as dirt. She one ugly woman. She ugly. Whoopi is jealous.
Making radio great again. The Cartel with Matt and Ron. This morning at 11. MoJo 50.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us, our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com, use promo code DOC, and get 15% off your purchase. That's neverforgottenapparel.com.
MoJo 50. The question isn't who's going to let us. The question is who's going to stop us.
We'll end up stopping ourselves, trust me.
The mothership has landed.
Hey there, it's Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs, along with some other guy on your Daily Mojo.
It's Ron. That's the
Why
same.
do we keep getting all these new people in here?
There's not.
I know we're not paying anything, but can't we get some stability with the producer role? The same guy.
Been here longer than we have. Same guy.
What do you mean here?
Here in this building.
Sounds very existential.
He's just. It's Ron. Just leave it at that.
So we mentioned some people running for president, like Howard Schultz. But I'm sorry to say, we've lost somebody too. Somebody has already dropped out.
That's I was going to say that's awful, but no, not necessarily.
Already dropped out.
Who?
Well, who all has been announced so far? Has announced they're running.
On the Democrat side?
Yeah.
Man, I've not been keeping up.
We already mentioned one of them.
Kamala.
Kamala Harris. Boom. Got one. Go.
Has Bernie announced?
No.
Bernie's not announced.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, yeah. Elizabeth Warren.
Good. Go. You got two.
Yep.
Several more.
If I cared more, that would make a difference.
Think New York. New York. Senator.
Not Cuomo.
Chick. No.
Oh.
Starts with a K. Ends with the Ersten Gillibrand.
Yes, her.
Yes, boom, you got it. Go.
There's the other guy. The guy.
That's right.
The guy.
The homo-type-sexual from South Bend, ironically named.
Him.
Pete Buttigieg.
Yes. See?
Do you realize that? He's gay and he was the mayor of South Bend. Hello. Hello. I'm a South Bend here. He's not from North Bend.
No. You want to bend to the south.
That's right, exactly. You also got Tulsi Gabbard, Hawaii.
Right.
You got John Delaney from great state of. Starts with an M.
Yes, it
ends
does.
with an Ireland. That's the one. Boom. And Julian Castro. They're all in.
Mm-hmm.
But we've lost one.
Who'd we lose?
I take a stab.
Is that a hint? Are they a serial killer?
No.
Damn it.
Who'd we lose? You got a whole list of them there. Who'd we lose?
Oh, did we lose the guy from South Bend?
We didn't lose any of them.
Oh.
It's a different guy.
Who? I don't.
Richard Oweja.
We who?
Oweja.
Oh.
Owaja.
Ojeda.
We lost him. We lost a great one there. He's out. He is so well known that you can pronounce his name 7 different ways.
No.
My people know him as Maze.
Right. We call him Corn.
Mm-hmm. How do you pronounce his name?
Is it Ojeda?
It's right.
Ojeda.
Ojeda. He's like an Ojeda
You
master.
have to do the ch in the back of your throat. Do the ch.
Ojeda.
No, Ojeda. Ojeda. Ojeda.
Richard.
No,
Ojeda.
Richard. It's Ojeda. Richard Ojeda.
What do I do with the mouthful of spit I got now?
Swallow.
He's out, Brad. He's done.
Well,
we lost a good one.
We saw that coming, though, didn't we?
No, I didn't even know he was in. Bellamy. You know who he is. He's the former West Virginia state senator.
Him. Yes.
He launched his presidential campaign he was in this for a long time.
How long was it?
He launched it mid-November.
Wow. He needs better press agents.
He made it 2.5 months, Brad. 2.5 months fighting the good fight out there.
Yeah.
Fighting the good fight out in the mean streets of West Virginia.
Shaking babies and kissing hands.
Going to coal mine, to trailer park. He's going town to town. Out there, spread the message.
Right.
Unfortunately, no one wanted that message.
Oh, that's very sad.
You know why he announced in November?
Why?
He couldn't announce before that.
Didn't have the money.
No, he was a little bit busy.
What was he doing? He was in jail, wasn't he?
No, nothing that delicious.
That would have been good.
Nothing that delicious. No, he was busy running for West Virginia's 3rd congressional district up until the midterms.
Oh, well, there you have it.
I lost my chance to win one of 435 seats in America.
So
let's go for that one seat now.
Let's, you know what? Throw caution to the wind. Damn the torpedoes.
People in his own district are like, nah. And yet he's going to win over people in Montana and Texas and everywhere else.
Right. Of course.
Hope springs eternal, folks.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, he then realized, nope, he can't do it. He's out. Now, to his credit, he's a retired veteran. He's a retired Army major. He's a veteran.
All right.
But what seems odd to me is let me play his audio when he dropped out. When he said, nope, can't do it anymore.
His forfeiture speech.
Are you prepared?
Withdrawal. I'm sitting down.
You sure?
I'm grasping both arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, his concession.
Hey, everybody. When I was a kid in grade school, my teachers always said that anyone can grow up and become president.
I'm waiting for him to break out a guitar and start singing. And here's a song I wrote.
Unfortunately, what I'm starting to realize is that unless you have wealth, influence, and power, it's not going to happen. Unfortunately, we've made the decision that we're going to end this presidential campaign because I can't see continuing to ask people to donate when I can't get no FaceTime. I don't want to see people, send money to it.
Sadly, he finally got airtime on this broadcast.
So he can.
He conceded.
So he can get FaceTime.
By leaving.
No, he just said, I can't get no FaceTime, which is a double negative, which makes it a positive.
That is true.
FaceTime.
That is true. He
Right.
can now get no FaceTime.
Right.
Did I do it?
No.
I did it.
He can
Still
now.
negative.
Now he can.
He can now not get no FaceTime.
Right.
When he dropped out.
Yes, that's true.
All he had, if he can just continue to drop out, he may drop out all the way to the White House. You know what I'm saying?
He should drop out
campaign
more.
That's probably not going to get off the ground. So I just want each and every one of you all to know that
Okay, here's the thing. I applaud him for not scamming people out of money.
Absolutely.
If that's true.
Absolutely.
If he's done. And that's good. And I certainly respect him for his service. The problem is he was a state senator, ran for Congress, and then for the presidency. It's pie in the sky. He doesn't have the infrastructure. He doesn't have the plan. And he has false and failed ideas.
to know that my fight is not over. I'm going to continue being a voice, and I'm not done. I'm not done. I may not be able to continue on in this presidential race, but I can assure you that the only thing I've ever wanted to do was to try to help people. I think that whoever does win the presidency needs to be somebody who is willing to check Big Pharma.
What?
Check Big Pharma. Crack down on them.
Okay.
No, I don't want I don't want the government to crack down on Big Pharma. I want the government to get the F out of the way. Big Pharma is not running amok because we have too few laws. Figure this out. They're running amok because we have too many laws.
And honestly,
it's the laws that allow them to keep competition out. That's the reason they lobby for more laws.
Who doesn't love running amok?
Who understands that we have got to find the jobs of the future?
Jobs of the future. Okay.
All
right.
Hologram manager. I want to be a hologram manager.
How about you just be a hologram? Then you won't need food.
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea.
And where will you live? Just in the little
in a holographic house.
That's right.
Oh.
What kind of holographic house do you want?
A big one.
Done. It's yours.
A huge one. With other hot holograms walking around.
How many?
100.
What are their names? Go.
Bambi, Christy.
Go.
Marley.
Go. Come on, go.
Betty.
Go.
Betty's too
They don't
old.
want Betty. Go. Come on.
Miss Celine.
Come on. You can't come up with any. Go.
Dolly.
Go. You want Dolly? Go.
Why not?
Go.
I've got 100 to come up with.
Come on. Let's go.
Mary. Tina.
Go.
Tina. Marianne.
Go.
Ginger.
Gilligan. Mrs. Howell.
I'm going to get bored. Throw Gilligan and Skipper in there too, just for a change of pace.
You have steak every day. A bologna sandwich tastes pretty good.
Every now and then.
Who understands how important it is to look out for the working class citizens and support our unions.
And there it is.
Well, there you have it.
He is the stereotypical brainwashed West Virginian. Now, the good news is, I love you, West Virginia. Many have woken up to realize all of this crap that they've believed for decades and decades, that it's the unions, it's the Democrats that are helping them out, has been crap. You've got people in West Virginia that are probably the most conservative people in America. God-fearing, gun-toting, Bible-thumping, live off the land people. Mm-hmm. And yet, they side up with the Democrat Party who says, we want to raise your taxes. We want you to pay for people to have abortions, pay for people's sex changes. We want to make sure that there's affirmative action for all of these people, while, mind you, most of the people in West Virginia don't have a whole lot.
No.
Why have they done that? Because years ago, they believed the union was in it for them. It has been a long, long time since those unions have done anything but build the union and build the infrastructure so you pay unions, essentially a middleman.
The union leadership became the federal government of the union.
Right. That's exactly it.
And became bloated and started doing everything for themselves and not giving a crap about the union member.
They think that the government and union forces companies to pay them whatever.
Yeah. No.
It's not it. That you just accepted another master. That's all it is.
Yep.
So while I believe this guy wants to do well, and he gets a lot of it out there, working class, you're right. Many people don't have enough. The solution is not more of this. The solution is what built all of this and made all of this possible. And that is freedom and free markets. Done. personal freedoms and free markets. Freedom and capitalism. Capitalism and freedom. They go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other, and that is the truth. That's what made this possible. If not for those things, he wouldn't have a computer. He wouldn't be able to go. He'd likely not exist. He'd be dead or never will have existed at all. We would be living in the dark ages. We would be living in Venezuela. We would be living with the dictator on our knees.
That's a bad thing.
But he's out. So there you go.
I'm telling you, if he had broken out a guitar and sung a song, he may have had. That's what Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is doing. I mean, she's being she's got out there, she's dancing. If he had busted out a guitar, let me sing you a song about why I lost.
It pisses me off because these people, they're scam artists. They're Billy McFarlane.
Yes.
All they do is go to you and go, your life sucks, huh? Of course it sucks. Doesn't matter who you ask that of. Someone's going to say yes.
Right. A certain percentage every time.
You could have a paid-off $2 million mansion making $400,000 a year, and you go to him and go, can you believe it? That guy has a $4 million mansion.
Right.
And makes $800,000 a year. Why are you being screwed this? Haven't you worked hard? How old are you? 60? You worked your whole life, didn't you?
Whole time.
Now, the Republicans play that game a little on the right when they tell you people are raising your taxes and you don't get enough. Now, that's accurate. But they're still playing on that same principle of look at what you have or don't. Vote for me and I'll set you free.
That's a trademark that.
It already was in the 1960s. It's the Temptations. I'm quoting the Temptations here. That's all I've got left.
They don't know that. Trademark it.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, they just continue to play this game. And it works for them because if you set that standard high enough of who should pay more, you bring in more people. Elizabeth Warren, as I told you, quoted the Dan Snyder of the Redskins buying, I think it was a $100 million yacht.
Right.
Okay, so that's who should pay more. If you can afford a $100 million yacht, that's the standard. If you took the income of every rich person in America, the top 1%. Have you ever heard this? You take the income of the top 1% that they say go after more, what they make each year.
Right.
It's not enough to sustain the federal government, even for a year. It would not be enough to fund the federal government.
No, our system is, the government is broken. The government is broken. It's not working.
I want to say that number is just shy. It's been a long time. I think it's just shy of $1 trillion. I could be wrong on
the
that.
income of the top 1%.
I think that's what it was. All right. If this stuff upsets you, and it upsets me, it drives me up the wall. The inconsistencies, the lack of understanding, the manipulation, the Billy McFarlanes out there that are just screwing people. Do you realize that's really what it is? It's everybody out there just lying and cheating. They're no different. And I'm not talking just the politicians. I'm talking just about everybody out there is out there manipulating in order to, it really is trick people into doing whatever you want.
Yeah.
There is not a whole lot of people just being honest and straight shooter about stuff. So frustrating.
It is.
I'll bet there's a lot of people that carry this stuff around all day. I think that's some of my TMJ. It's a TJM.
TMJ.
MG.
It's a MG midget.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Grinding my teeth at the stress of all this stuff.
It could
the
be.
Annoyance. People selling snotty Kleenex and getting rich. What? And it doesn't matter this job. I'm not saying it because of this job. You're out there doing a job, working hard every day, and you're going, wait a minute. That goof has money. Al Gore is rich off of lying people. Right?
It's
you're
amazing, but it's the truth.
This has been going on since the beginning of time, the back and forth with this stuff. It's enough to probably make you ill. The stress. It's enough to give you irritable bowel syndrome.
Enough to do that.
Digestive troubles, right?
Yeah. Bloating, discomfort.
Well, the good news is I've got a solution for you, and that's Otrantil. Just go to lovemytummy.com because no one knows how to spell Otrantil.
So I go to loveyourtummy.com.
Love my tummy.
That's what I said. I go to loveyourtummy.com.
Changing the words there.
No, I mean, you said go to love my tummy. I said go to love your tummy.
Got it. Let me help you out here. Go to lovemytummy.com.
Oh, love my tummy.
Yes, love your tummy.
Not love your it's love my tummy.
I just headed down that path. I shouldn't have done it.
See?
I hope they have love your tummy. I remember Brad Stagg said love your tummy. And I'd love to love his tummy. Brad's got a nice tummy. I watch him on Facebook. Oh, my God. He got a sexy tummy there. I love his tummy all day. I want to be one of his hologram bitches.
Actually, if you go to loveyourtummy.com, it says, sorry, the Squarespace account Finky is not available.
Thank God.
Whew.
So if you get that one, then you realize you're at the wrong one.
So it's Love My Tummy.
Is Brad's hologrambitches.com available? Because I think you got something there.
Not anymore. It's
how about just hologram bitches?
Nope. That's mine.
Oh, there it is. There's your future.
That is mine, all mine.
For the rest of us, go to lovemytummy.com.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot do this justice, a commercial for this justice, because we talk about discomfort and bloating and gas and different things that you have. And while those things are true, it's a much more significant product than that. It's not just about dealing with the uncomfort, discomfort problems right now. It's about being healthy. Otrantil at lovemytummy.com is going to focus on your digestive health. 50 years, 20 years, maybe even 10 years from now, you are going to see revolutions in health based on digestive getting your digestive health right.
Here's a headline. Surprising link between depression, anxiety, and gut health.
Guys, it's true. You know the problem with it is, though, when I eat right and I exercise right, get sleep, when I get all those things right.
Back in 86, I think you did that.
I've had spurts of it here and there. The problem is I don't wake up going, I feel great.
Mm-hmm.
I just go and do.
Right.
But when I stop, I feel like hell.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're just back to normal. It's not like a boost of what normal is. Normal is good. You know,
yes,
you're like, all right, I feel good.
You feel normal. You get up out of bed in the morning.
You go and do it.
Yes, you feel normal. You feel like you have some energy.
I'm not joking. And by the way, this morning, part of it was the jaw was feeling better. I got up and felt pretty good. I actually felt more rested last night, probably because my jaw wasn't aching all night.
Mm-hmm.
But up until this morning, for the past couple of months, when I get up in the morning, I swing my feet onto the edge of the bed, and I stand up and walk to the restroom. I'm not kidding. It's like Kevin Spacey at the end of Usual Suspects. I walk out all jacked up, my flipper up on the side like this, hunched over, hobbling, and I got to get 3-4 steps before I stop going, ow, ow, my legs, my feet, my back, my arm, and then I can straighten up. And
it's Tim Conway, the oldest man in the world,
right,
shuffling along.
This morning I got up, not so much with the Kaiser Sose walk.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually walking kind of normal. So anyways, focus on your gut health. Try this. Try seeing
Try a South Bend.
Try a South
Try
Bend.
a South Bend.
A South Bend. See if it'll help you with things that maybe you're not even realizing you need help with. If gut health is affecting so many things in our life, and do the research. Again, just do a news search. Depression, heart health, whatever. See if it helps you with some of the things that maybe you haven't even realized you have problems with, or that your gut is affecting those things or causing those things. Go to lovemytummy.com. Try it for a month. Try it for 2 months, and I'll bet that you have amazing results, as we've already seen with other people.
The gut is connected to the brain via the vagus nerve, ironically.
Oh, yeah.
And there you go.
That's right, baby.
And the gut-brain axis.
Guys, it's seriously, this is it. And this is one of the reasons sugar's so bad. Lovemytummy.com. All right, I have some hope that President Trump is going to make a change. I was pretty much out Friday morning. I knew it was coming.
Right.
Sure enough, Friday night, the guy completely caves on the shutdown. And it's not just the shutdown about the border wall. It's also overspending in some of these other things. Yes, I still give Trump pretty high marks for his presidency so far, but that is a significant failure, and I'm not happy about it. I was 100% that the guy screwed up. Tactical error. It was all for naught. But I have about a 2, maybe 5% at most hope that he still has an ace to play about that.
I hope so.
Here's the thing. I don't think it has to do with him declaring an emergency and building the wall anyways. Because here's the thing. Even if he does that, and even though it goes right to the Supreme Court and they try all the some of the challenges, there will be ongoing challenges every second of every day.
Of course.
Because the a-holes, the statists out there, are going to call foul about everything. And there are limitless things they could call foul when it comes to the EPA. Do you know how much power the EPA has right now?
A lot.
They can shut down every one of those work sites every stinking day after we're challenging him. He's destroying the habitat of the tufted titmouse. All right, the tufted titmice, is it plural mice?
I believe so.
Are fine. What about the three-legged salamander?
That third leg's a doozy, too.
A pretty big leg there.
It is.
Right? They can do that endless times.
Yeah.
And then what about workplace safety? What about who's building the wall? The Labor Department. The challenges will be endless. So.
It'll never get done.
No. That's not where my hope is. My hope is for the State of the Union. Nancy Pelosi has offered Tuesday night, February 5th, for him to come to the Capitol and give his State of the Union address.
Well, that was nice of her to invite him in.
She kind of had to now. The shutdown was over.
Oh.
Now, he has accepted, and this is where my 2 to 5% hope comes in, that he will finally take it to them in that speech. I want him to sucker punch them right in their face. I want him to punch her, figuratively speaking, right in her effing face. I want him to do the Kate Steinle, read the list, whatever. I don't think he'll go that aggressive.
Likely no.
I think he'll do a little bit. But I want him to go scorched earth policy on Congress in their house. That's my 2% hope. If he does that and does it right, he has a chance to get his wall, get reelected, and a lot more. If he does not, I believe the next 2 years will just kind of fade away.
That would be sad.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
What do squares, bingo, and props have in common? All three are popular ways to bet on the Super Bowl, of course. But this year's affair between the Los Angeles Rams and New England Patriots will be played under some new betting situations, with legalized sports betting becoming more of a reality in the United States. That's because of this number, 7, as in 7 new states have approved sports betting since the last time the Super Bowl was played. Delaware, Mississippi, New Jersey, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and West Virginia joined Nevada with legalized sports betting. Just how popular is betting on the Super Bowl, though? Last year, there was at least $6 billion worth of bets placed on the game, according to the American Gaming Association, of which $158.58 million was spent in Nevada casinos alone. As for this year, the AGA believes upwards of 22.7 million people will place bets on Super Bowl 53, and the amount spent in American casinos could double that which was spent in Nevada alone last year. Still, the percentage of bets placed in American casinos will be the real number to watch. Last year, it was just 3% of the total bets placed, according to industry estimates. As for this year, that percentage is expected to jump to just 5.3% given the new states in the mix. But with larger access, why only a 2% jump in legal bets placed? It's a combination of things, but the two biggest reasons are the lack of some of the popular prop bets, with places like William Hill offering upwards of 900 of them, and attractive pricing from offshore betting websites. Until the states figure out a better mix of tax policy and people get more access to legal options for sports betting in the United States, it's going to take a while for that number to increase. Additionally, so much tradition exists in betting between friends at parties with things like Super Bowl squares, bingo, pull tabs, and more that it's going to be tough to stop that from happening in the future. This has been By the Numbers. I'm Andrew Coppins. You can follow me on Twitter at The Coppins Show.
The Daily Mojo.
Tom is not supposed to speak with me or look directly at me. You've got to tell them not to look directly at the talent.
I know, and I've time and time again, I've told him if he sees you coming, he has to duck into the nearest doorway.
It's the Diana Ross principle.
Right.
They know the rules.
It works. I don't know why they
Heads
don't.
will roll.
I'm so sorry, sir. We'll get that fixed right away for you.
Can we get to some communiques via the social media platforms?
Absolutely. Oh, it's a good thing. I thought that was going to be Tom coming in the door again. Let's see. JR15, if you're a whiny bitch with bad grammar, you can't be president. That's true.
He really kind of was.
Something Wong Kamala says you shouldn't have to get procedures approved from insurance commission. She wants you to go to the government for approval.
Right. That's really what she's saying with that.
That works well.
They kind of missed that part of the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't think they missed it as much as they just went right past it. And Crusade, nope, can't read that one. Whatchamacallit. This audience, I love them. Whatchamacallit, I'm thinking South Bend is the problem Doc Thompson show is having. Just saying.
Maybe. Could be.
It's possible.
Yeah, reading, was that for MeWe? It's like Russian roulette reading those.
Right.
If you're not
yeah, that was actually the Twitter.
Spin the dial. Whoop, can't read that one.
Let's see. There's something about tacos, cocaine, and hookers, and
that's
Lucky
not
Snow.
going to be good for us either.
Those
that's not
are
gonna work at all.
Yes.
Maybe you could just talk a moment about TRAguns.com. I think that would help out.
Yes, TRAguns.com, the place that you can go on the interweb.
Could you talk about that for a while?
I could talk about that.
How does TRA Guns make you feel?
Warm and fuzzy. And actually a little bit envious that Kurt has all the guns and I don't.
Really? When did this begin? Fascinating.
As a child, I think I was envious of Kurt and his gun collection.
And why is that?
He doesn't need that many guns. No one needs that many guns. So I think that may be why he's selling them all.
Do you think this is likely because of your mom or dad? Does anything to do with them?
My mom never knew my mother. Never knew my father. I was raised by wolves, well-armed wolves. They had some impressive guns on. They were well-armed wolves. If you need to add to your gun collection, there's a guy who has more than you do, and he doesn't need them all, and his name is Kurt. And his
I'm going to
website
show you a
is
Rorschach picture now. What does that remind you of? What's it look like?
Bow and arrow.
No. What else?
It's the Empire State Building.
No. I was going for gun.
Is that a gun?
I was going for gun.
Now I'm afraid.
I think you're going to be okay.
Now I'm frightened.
TRAguns.com.
Yes, TRAguns.com. That website again?
TRAguns.com.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
That is the stupidest commercial we've ever done for them. And we've done a lot of really bad commercials for them.
We have, but the fact of the matter is he has a lot of guns.
Could you prepare another bad commercial for Era Capital Management in a couple minutes?
I will.
Okay, sounds good. Joining us now, Carla and David. Is it Truesdale?
It's Charlotte Truesdale.
Oh, Charlotte. You just told me that, too.
I know, but
and don't look her in the eye. Don't look her in the eye either. Neither one of you can look each other in the eye. This is going to be interesting.
Charlotte Truesdale from Warrior Spirit Project. What is the Warrior Spirit Project?
We're an all-volunteer nonprofit, and we work with veterans and first responders. And we do yoga, dogs, and dirt.
Yoga, dogs, and dirt.
Yoga, dogs, and dirt.
Okay. Are those all together or are they individuals?
That's an interesting thought. They're individual.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, we have seen a few videos on social media of yoga practitioners with their dogs walking all over them, under them, around them. So that's fun, too, but we don't do that.
Or their goats or their pigs.
Yeah, we don't really
I saw somebody doing yoga with a pig.
We do yoga with horses.
That sounds even more difficult.
It's really difficult to get the horses to stand that way, but you know.
Yeah.
Downward dog is really tough.
So those are 3 different programs that you have?
Yeah, those are 3 different programs. We're really about working with the warriors that have post-traumatic stress or dealing with the effects of traumatic experiences in their work life or in their service life. And so these 3 programs are designed to help kind of bring them from isolation, if they're feeling isolated in any capacity. It may be complete isolation. It may just be not wanting to be around other people except when they have to go to work.
We use PTSD as kind of a blanket catch-all.
Yeah.
unfortunately, and I haven't really thought about it much until we were at SHOT Show last week, and I talked to some people that have different programs, and I realized that there could be people that, like any of us, just having some additional trouble right now. And if you're a veteran, of course, we should help you out. I mean, we have a moral and legal obligation to help. Certainly the VA does. And it could be, many different steps along the way to that post-traumatic stress. You could be anywhere on that timeline.
Well, the interesting thing about it, and we call it post-traumatic stress, we leave the D off because we don't think it's a disorder.
Oh, okay. But do you believe there is also a PTSD, or you just think there's...
For clinical purposes, they use the D because that helps with treatment and coding and all of that.
Okay. So there you go, back to the insurance company.
Yeah,
Right.
but
Yes.
for us, we just call it post-traumatic stress because it can come on at any time, actually. Someone can have all these experiences and not feel any effects of this for years later. Or they may feel things that they're not sure what it's coming from. They might not be diagnosed. So PTSD is a diagnosis. But post-traumatic stress is a real thing that could happen to anybody. And it's because...
Oh, we know that.
Yeah.
Not having served, we mean in our professional lives.
Yeah.
And it's weird when you get it because then it almost makes you feel guilty for saying you have post-traumatic stress because you associate that mostly with people who have served and who have been in a combat situation and all of the crap that they've seen.
Or
and
more serious, even if it's not serving, like somebody saying they were raped or something.
Right.
And you're like, they've carried this around and it's a trauma, it's stress.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I just had a really bad boss or bad experience somewhere else. And you feel kind of stupid.
Well, and the thing is, having that word stress in there makes it a little confusing too, because everybody has stress, and stress isn't always a bad thing. Stress helps get us up in the morning and get us to work and do the things we need to do. But with post-traumatic stress, it's the effects of what happened. It's a normal response to a very abnormal situation or an abnormal series of situations, and the body holds on to that. And it comes out in all kinds of different ways that might not even be recognized as PTS.
And it's a concern when those ways that it comes out are detrimental.
Yes, absolutely. It can completely interfere with the regular functioning.
And right at the top of your website, it says, because a broken spirit can be more harmful than a broken body.
Absolutely.
I think you're right. Yeah. Well, I mean, and we know that mental pain can cause physical pain. And unfortunately, you get people, and
vice versa.
That's true. I've had people in my life that suffer real physical pain, and I know it is likely related to some sort of stress or mental disorder, whatever it is. And when you point that out, then it becomes very triggering to them. What, you're saying it's not real?
Yeah.
No, it's just as real. It's just a different part of the body.
Yeah. Because the body holds on to trauma and it's manifesting in all kinds of ways. It may be emotional, it may be physical, it may be depression.
Well, and there's also a stigma too if you talk about, stress or anything that is not physical.
Yeah.
Mental, emotional, whatever you want to call it. You automatically get into mental health. Oh, you're saying I'm crazy. And it has this stigma and I have to talk to somebody. I get it on meds and all this stuff. No, everybody goes through this. It's just, again, many different places on that timeline.
Well, and again, it's the wording. Don't we all want to be mentally healthy?
Sure.
So mental health is not a bad thing. We want good mental health.
Right.
Physically and mentally healthy. I think it's a good thing. Isn't it, when you're dealing with PTS, isn't it the fact that your brain trying to wrap itself around the experience that you had and trying to make sense of it?
That is kind of an intellectual argument. It's really more of a physical response. It literally, your body is responding to a stress in the way that it was designed to respond. And then it has no outlet afterwards. And so it continues to respond to anything that remotely resembles that stress in the same way until we reprogram it.
I worked with a guy
more naturally
that had PTS, and you had to tell him, look, I'm going to be right back here. I need to plug this light in back here, because if he heard sounds behind him, set him off. So you really had to be careful.
So let's talk about those programs that warriorspiritproject.org, if people want to go to the website, warriorspiritproject.org, that you guys work on.
Well, thanks for the great segue, because our yoga is all trauma-sensitive yoga. And we do things like you just said. When we start a class, we will let everyone in there know what sounds they might hear during the class. We let them know that our eyes are open the whole time. We're watching the space. We're holding the space for them so that they can practice.
I thought about that.
When you first started talking, I was like, well, I can, and then it made a lot more sense. Okay. Yeah. I've taken some yoga classes, and you're right. You could be very vulnerable or seem vulnerable if you're somebody that's heightened awareness, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And our yoga is also very grounding. We don't do, the postures you see on the magazine covers, and we don't downplay those as an important part of yoga.
You don't do downward dog?
We do downward dog.
Okay.
Downward dog's very grounding.
Okay.
But we don't do it with dogs.
Well, and yoga, here's the other problem too, and I would encourage everybody to try yoga. It's going to help a lot of people.
Next on my list.
The problem is there are people that are very religious that recognize there is part of yoga that, if you take it all the way back, was also was tied to a religion and stuff. The physical exercise or health of it, though, can be separated.
Absolutely. And yoga itself was actually not associated with a religion initially. A religion adopted, Hinduism adopted yoga because they found the benefits of yoga were so profound, they wanted to bring that into their religious practice. Yoga itself is not tied distinctly to any religion. It is a system of health, basically. And the postures came much later in the practice. The initial part of yoga was just to help bring peace back to the mind and the body and the spirit, which all religions do.
If you've not tried it, I had seen yoga like a lot of people in commercials and videos or whatever.
I've watched a lot of women do yoga.
That's just your creepy stalking. But
did I say that out loud?
I don't think so.
Sorry.
When I went to try, I was like, I've seen this.
Piece of cake.
Right. They're like, all right, take this pose. Yeah, now what? Just stand there a couple minutes. You're like, yeah, okay. 30 seconds in, sweat is spraying out of my forehead. I'm gasping I'm just standing like this. It's an incredible workout.
It's strength from the inside out.
Yeah.
And not just physical strength. It helps us find balance in our lives.
So you help veterans do yoga and say, okay, we've got this program, make your life better.
Yeah. And again, the yoga is a way to help address that physical manifestation of the post-traumatic stress. It's not just a release, but a way to find stillness in the midst of chaos.
I think that's what a lot of, and I'm just as guilty of it as the next guy, but stopping just for, even if you do it for 5 minutes a day, just stopping everything and not thinking about something, try thinking about nothing. It's not, first of all, it's not easy to do, but you have to do that just to let everything go, because it'll drive you crazy otherwise.
Yeah. And a big part of our Steady Warriors program, which is the yoga piece, is I-Rest meditation, which stands for Integrative Restoration. And it's an evidence-based meditation that was first brought to Walter Reed back in the early 2000s, and it's been researched since then. And it is an intentional mindfulness meditation. So it's guided, but we don't take you through a forest or down a path or anything that could trigger someone.
That's a good point, too.
We just allow you to access your own awareness of yourself in various ways, maybe the sensations of the body or the breath.
Right.
And, it's a phased process, very powerful.
That's a good point, because if you're talking to somebody, you're walking through a forest, whatever it is, that if they've been in a jungle somewhere.
Yeah, I'm just listening to the birds. They're like, what's coming up here?
Right, what's behind the tree.
I'm assuming the dogs is like emotional support therapy type of thing, or
the dog program is emotional support. Thank you for giving me a national platform to clarify what our dog program is, because our crazy pit bull lady is our third co-founder and partner, and obviously she's not here.
Crazy pit bull lady.
Yeah,
I know her.
She loves that moniker.
Weren't you married to her?
I believe I was.
A couple times.
Yeah, but because the name is Pit Bull Partners Rescue Mission, we get a lot of requests for rehoming dogs or rescuing dogs or, fostering dogs. We are not a rescue organization. We just don't have the resources or capacity to do that. We focus on partnering with the local shelter and helping train the adoptable pit bulls that are already in the shelter, bringing veterans or first responders in so that they can have some dog time. If they can't have a dog at home for whatever reason, this gives them some dog therapy, but they're also learning skills with the dogs, and it makes the dog more adoptable. And Leslie's currently working on having a way to have a small group training format where she can bring veterans who already have dogs to a location to let them learn how to train that dog to be more helpful for them in ways of just basic behaviors or emotional support.
And then you've got a third program. You mentioned DIRT.
Yes, that's a community garden program.
Okay.
And that one just kind of came up. I don't know how that one came about, but it's good to grow.
I was going to say,
it is.
You know what? It makes sense. You get out there and you get your hands in the dirt. You start growing things. There's something literally grounding about doing that.
I think we are created to create. That's
Yeah.
one thing we're supposed to do. We're made in the eyes of the Creator, and He's a creator.
Yeah.
You know, so seeing things, I'm not saying we have the ability to grow like the Creator, but I'm saying
You make
when,
things.
right, when you're a part of that, whether it's building something, when you see something grow, aside from the other, more tangible benefits, just being a part of it, it gives you that sense of accomplishment.
It does, and it's so rewarding to nurture that. And physically, it's good to have your hands in the dirt, but one of the main purposes of the garden program is getting the veterans and first responders outside of their isolation or their small comfort zone circle and into a broader community where they can also find something in common with the person gardening next to them and have that conversation and realize that, yeah, we have something in common here.
And you're probably going to get a lot of that in the other programs too, that camaraderie and...
That's a big part of it. In fact, we don't care if we, this may sound terrible to a lot of yoga teachers out there, but we don't care if we start our yoga class right on time because that social interaction at the beginning is so important. We'll make sure we end on time, but we want to allow them to come in and have community, and that's just really, really, really important.
All right, so where can people find out more and how can they help you?
Well, we have our website, warriorspiritproject.org. They can email me. I mean, I love to get emails. Charla, CHARLA, at warriorspiritproject.org.
Brad was just telling me that this morning, how much he loves to get emails. What's your email address?
I love getting emails.
I think that's what I heard.
Let me change that.
Love it.
I love to get relevant emails
Okay, there you go. There's one of there.
people who could benefit from what we have to offer. Yeah, and we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and so yeah.
Now, how are you funded? Do you need donations?
We always accept donations. We're mostly privately funded just because we don't want to put all our efforts into raising funds. None of us get paid. We're all volunteers.
But it helps if you do have funds?
Oh, we need funds.
Okay.
We don't have a physical location, so we don't have to spend our time on fundraising. We just gratefully accept the funds that come in and put them right towards our programs.
That's awesome. And I'm assuming they can just donate at the website?
They can.
Okay, so again, it is warriorspiritproject.org. warriorspiritproject.org, and we'll go ahead and post that all across social media so people can find out more. And then keep in touch with us, and we'll help you out any way we can, okay?
Absolutely. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks so much. It's Charla and David Truesdale from Warrior Spirit Project.
By the way, she's got him awfully trained. He just sits back there in the corner, doesn't say a word.
I kind of like him sitting back there keeping you. Is he triggering you?
He's got your
His
back.
little post-traumatic stress right there? That's it.
He's a comforting presence right back there.
Why do you keep like twitching over your shoulder?
It's easy. No, I can see him on the camera. That's the beauty of it.
warriorspiritproject.org. Thanks, guys. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
All right, some more information. I got to tell you, Walmart, we always do our Building America. We try to help people as much as we can. Walmart is hiring hundreds of more truck drivers next year.
To do what?
It's needlepoint, but it's stuff
interesting
to drive trucks.
It might be needlepoint. You never know. Why do you have to put everybody with a label
there's a
on
couple of reasons this is interesting. First of all, if you are looking for a gig, listen to these. It's $90,000 a year.
What's that number?
1-800 I'm quitting MoJo this afternoon.
I can start to say I can drive. I drive a truck now.
I can talk on my phone while I'm driving.
That's right.
Yeah. They're looking to add more truck drivers. This year, it'll say there's an industry-wide shortage, which I didn't know. The thing is, we also know automated trucks are coming. So this might be the last hurrah. If predictions are right.
Right.
They're paying 89 cents a mile.
In addition to the 90 grand?
No. That's okay. And it works out to, let me make sure. Drivers will earn 1 cent extra per mile, as well as additional pay for every arrival, adding up to 89 cents per mile, or an average of $87.5 per year. The median salary right now for a truck driver on a national irregular route, $53,000.
Do you know, if I had to drive an 18-wheeler, I would have to do yoga twice a day.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't either. That
Listen,
would,
folks, you have got to appreciate what 18-wheeler drivers go through.
Some of them.
Do you know how rough that is on their body?
Oh, it's terribly rough. It's very rough.
You're bouncing around like that. It's hard on the kidneys. You're not stopping as often to go to the bathroom because it's a big pain when you do.
Right.
They really struggle. I don't think I could do that. I don't want that responsibility of driving a truck. I'm too sloppy. I could drive a smaller truck, maybe regionally.
Yes.
But I'm not.
Van.
A box van.
Yes.
I'm not screwing around, though, in the snow or anything like that. If I was an 18-wheeler, there is no way in hell I'm driving in the snow.
No. A friend of mine, his name's Harley. He's a long-distance truck driver, and he told me the story one time. He had to back down literally a mile-long tunnel in the dark. He only had his truck lights. And he said, I just got it. And it didn't bother him. Yeah, I got it in there. I'm like,
they're used to it. They're good. They're good at what they do.
I can back a boat trailer. I can get it to the water.
I cannot. It's why is it next to me? Why is it bending? Why the other way?
It shouldn't do that. And I've been taught, you look at you, if you don't look over your shoulder, if you look in the mirror, you should be able to do it with it, and it's still a challenge to me. But
it's crazy.
18 wheels would make me insane.
But darn it, headphones.
Be careful.
There it is. But they are going to be hiring there, so that's the first reason I bring it up. That I think they said they hired 1,400 last year, and they're hiring hundreds more this year. So if you're in need of a job, maybe consider that.
So capitalism is working.
Yes, it is.
That's good news.
Also, I bring it up because this shows you the changing world. Do you know why I believe there's so many additional drivers needed?
Need stuff. We're selling stuff.
Yes, and how are we selling it?
Through brick and mortar, or
online delivery.
If that's Walmart though, or where are they taking this stuff?
Well, it could be the Walmart store, but it could also be to delivery centers. But it's not just Walmart. If there's an industry-wide shortage, some of that shortage could be based on all the delivery drivers too.
That's true.
So for a while, there's going to be a hurrah of drivers. So I'd get on that. You know where else you could make yourself more financially secure? Not just with a better job. That's EraCapitalManagement.com.
You want to hear something scary? 20% of Americans tap into their 401ks early, either through a loan or withdrawal. 38% of Americans don't actively save for retirement at all. 80% of Americans between 30 and 54 believe they will not have enough saved for retirement.
Guess what? You're not going to have enough saved for retirement.
And
most will not.
If you save $25 a week, just $25 a week, 7% investment return for 35 years, do you know how much you'd have at the end of that?
How much?
Almost $200,000. And I've told you the story of my father-in-law, God rest his soul. Never made, I would be stunned if he ever made six figures in his life. And when we had to itemize his estate at the end, worth well over $1 million. Because he had a good financial advisor. That's what it took. He was smart enough to find the good financial advisor to let him manage his money and sit back and just, and they had 2 cars, they had a house, so it's not like they give up a lot. They just set aside, they paid themselves first each month. You can do it. That's what Era Capital Management is all about.
Check them out today, EraCapitalManagement.com. It's EraCapitalManagement.com. Just find out what they can do for you. There's no fee up front. You don't have to pay for any of that. Just talk to them. Whether you got a 401k, whether you need one, whether you want to roll that over, whether you want to start investing, whether you already have some investments to manage. Trust us, these are good people. EraCapitalManagement.com.
What do you mean it's Let's Go?
Alrighty, that is it, ladies and gentlemen, the end of your Daily Mojo. But before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. We learned Fire Festival was appropriately named because it was a raging, blazing dumpster fire.
Yes, it was. And very entertaining.
Did you write that one down?
I didn't write that one.
You should remember that.
I will remember.
We learned Canada geese are getting their revenge in Chicago. Little bastards. We learned a company is selling used tissues, yet I am still poor.
Yep. You know, it's the conscience thing.
Finally, I learned today something shocking. That on Brad's top 5 list of hot names, Betty.
I was under pressure. I was having to come up with a name.
What was your aunt's first name?
Betty Lou is getting out tonight, though.
What was your aunt's first name? The one you saw through the keyhole naked.
Jean. No.
You didn't. You mentioned Jean.
I don't want to. I'm gonna go. I need to go do yoga.
Was she a large woman?
She was healthy.
Healthy.
She was healthy.
How was gravity affecting her?
It was not. It's well. I need to go do yoga.
Bradley,
right now.
J. Staggs, what, if anything, did you learn today?
First and foremost, I learned the only thing freakier than being into feet is attending a shirtless dinner party with Bernie Sanders. What the hell were they doing? I learned in a pinch, Bernie Sanders' nipples make excellent dinner plates at a party. I learned Kamala Harris has a Willie to thank for her position in government.
What is that position?
Could be on all fours, could be missionary.
Gotcha.
I learned Russia doesn't like it when you mistreat people. That's true.
They do not.
And I learned the new Democrat health care plan should be known as the VA, Part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2. Oh, yeah. I hate you.
What's the matter?
I hate
What's the
you.
matter?
Dude, I hate you.
You know what this is?
I hate you.
Pat, pop that down just a little bit and listen to this, Ron. Listen to this. This is Ron, right?
Yeah, it's Ron.
There you go.
Oh, little Gina.
Just so disturbing.
So much time.
Can we move on?
All right, back up to the show close. Here we go.
Wow,
What, if anything,
off
did the
rails.
listeners learn today?
Over in the MeWe chat room, Melissa Jacko learned I'm going to auction off my used tissues. Can we start the bid at $80?
80. Boom. Brad's in.
She says, I'm not going to tell you what I use them for until your PayPal goes through.
Ooh, 82.
Architectural at 3D Pixel Pro learned anybody can be president, but we've only had 45. Please to lead Kasich to his senses. Oh, what's wrong with John Kasich?
Did I get kicked off of Twitter? It's making me log in again. Usually that means you're kicked out.
Are you in Twitter jail? It could be. Over on the Twitter, JR15 learned, yes, if you're a whiny bitch with bad grammar, you can't be president. Naily Bud learned Trump derangement syndrome is cognitive dissonance with emotional energy used as the investment capital that is continually reinvested into the Ponzi scheming IPOP.
Let me think. Let me think. Yes, that's right.
Yes, exactly right. Zoc M3 Amadeus learned, happy birthday, Paul Ryan. I hope you enjoy the birthday card with $85,000 in it from the taxpayers you screwed.
Oh, I hate that guy.
Kinsey
Paul
Richards,
Ryan, I mean.
Yeah. Kinsey Richards learned, I don't think a billionaire a-hole could ever be president. Oh, wait. Oh, that's not nice. It's not inaccurate, but that's not nice.
No.
And finally, Lucky F and Farkin learned, so is Doc offering to be the DD at the MoJo Con? Designated driver.
Oh, it sounded better when you said D.
No.
I was like, yeah, babe.
No.
Oh, driver. Oh, no.
That's what you have to.
That's right. I'm thinking there will be plenty of double D at the MoJoCon.
Man, I didn't get those new numbers on procrastination. I feel really bad about that.
No, you don't.
I'll just get to them tomorrow. What else do we have coming up?
Good idea tomorrow.
And what does Matt Locke have coming up? And I guess that's it.
Yes.
All right. Remember, your Daily Mojo is a production of Guy Behind the Glass, whose name is
Ron
Phillips. Sic Semper Tyrannis. Good night, Steve Cannon. Wherever you are. Anya, now, you go home.
And for my relief factor.
Could you put a name placard on his door, maybe?
I'll get to that.
Just put it right there, because
right on the
if he's going to be around starting now.
Good idea.